What's going on, guys? I'm Jeff, the Yoshi Fanatic, and welcome to part 5 of Donkey Kong Country Returns, aka Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Welcome to the stream. Welcome Blues Cat, Mr. Face, Solar Flare, J to the P Moreno, and Drip Nova, aka Plush. What's going on, everybody? How was your week? I hope it was grand. I have to remind myself it's sticker bush and not sticker brush, says J to the P Moreno. Yeah, I never remember the name of that song, but boy is it pleasant. How was your week? I'm no longer sick, but I did pull my quad. Ouch. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're not sick anymore, at least. But I'm sorry about your quad. I had a pretty good week. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, but, you know. Well, you know what? There was some stuff out of the ordinary. It's been very cold around here lately. And 3 out of 5 of the work days this week, I awoke to frozen pipes. Yeah, this guy says that was not fun. And I agree. It was not fun. So I had to pull my stove out in my kitchen so that I could get to my pipes behind my countertops. And I was able to unfreeze them with a hairdryer, but it's not exactly ideal, let's just say that. Solar Flare says that God does not want me to play lacrosse with how much time I'm missing. I had to practice in 6-degree weather yesterday, Jeff, during the snow. Jeepers, that'll toughen you up. This guy says that's awful. Yeah, it doesn't sound fun. Well, what say we get started here, guys? We are now on the factory. And last stream, we did not make as much progress as I was hoping to, I'll be quite honest. World 6 kicked my rear end, and, yeah, took a lot longer to get through than I thought it was going to. So let's see how World 7 goes. I'm just going to plan to 100% complete World 7 for tonight. If we get further, great. I'm not gonna hold my breath on it, though. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. What say you? You know what I say is, I gotta check my filters quick. Okay. We're in the clear, let's go. Foggy fumes. You know, I was thinking about this today. And maybe one of you guys will have the answer. I kinda hope so. Why is there a factory on Donkey Kong Island? Who's in charge of this factory? Who built it? I was under the impression that it's the Kremlins that... Ooh, the silhouette level, everybody loves these. I was under the impression that it was, the Kremlins who had the factory, their factory antics, if you will, in the original Donkey Kong Country. But they're not in this game. Please tell me I'm not supposed to get all these. Because I promise that I'm not going to. But yeah, like I said, the Kremlins are not in this game. So, who's running the factory? Or is it just abandoned? I mean, stuff seems to be in motion. Or am I just thinking too hard about this? Maybe that's it. Ooh, the jungle theme. Remixed for the factory. I can appreciate that. Dang, long time no see, man, says Kitty VR. Welcome to the stream, Kitty VR. And SKL, welcome to you as well. How are you guys doing? Oh, hello. I didn't even know there was gonna be anything there. Scaries? Okay. I was a little scared of that jumpy electric guy. It's Game & Watch! What? I didn't know he was in this game. You see him? That's hilarious. Mr. Face says this reminds me of what that course in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yeah, this is the original inspiration for the silhouette levels in the Mario Wonder levels, or in the Mario Wonder game, if I'm not mistaken. Pew. Oh, I can tell this is gonna be a bit of a pain. I don't even need that extra life. Oh, well, now I do. Maybe the Kongs ended up owning the factories for themselves after the Kremlins left them there. Maybe, I guess. That kind of makes sense. Like, hey, we kicked the Kremlins off the island. Well, this factory has belonged to us now. Yeah. Alright, let's try a little harder to get all the bananas this time. See if it actually results in a good. I kind of doubt it. But you never know in this game. Oh. How about that? Makes me want to get all the bananas every time now. Since that's clearly a criteria that I need to think about. At least sometimes. Maybe. Probably. Let's just make sure. Better safe than sorry, right? Well, extra life. There we go. Sure. I was gonna say, remember how I said that this game throws extra lives at you like they're candy? Well, that was a not so great example, but you know, the extra lives are sure plentiful in this game. And it doesn't help that at the end of the last stream I bought the maximum number of lives just because I lost so many lives on the 8K level. It was ridiculous. I figured that I owed it to myself to max out on lives at that point. Ah. How is everyone doing? Oh, I'm doing nicely, says Blues Cat. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Blues Cat. Glad to hear you're doing well. Wait, Jeff, I realized I never criticized you for saying welcome to person because it was grammatically incorrect. I was wrong. You're not saying welcome to person as an attraction. It's a solar flare. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're saying welcome to them, not welcome you to them like it's your house. It's a solar flare. Yeah. Yeah, is that what you've been thinking this whole time? JP says, after this game, it's now mandatory for every 2D platformer to have silhouette level. Yeah, right. I never, well, I guess I kind of understand the hype a little bit, but I'm not like, I like the silhouette levels. Don't get me wrong. They're just, I guess I don't get as hyped about them as much as most people do. Still, they're nice. Howdy, Jeff. Howdy, Aurora. Welcome, Chris. Guys, welcome to the stream. How are you guys? Escale says, I'm doing great. I now have a girlfriend, and my new video called The Death of Gold Points is in the progress of being scripted. Very nice. Very nice on both accounts. Congratulations. Yeah, those gold points going away, huh? I can't say that I have much of an opinion on that, other than, like, why are they doing that? Oh, I don't know. So, I don't know. Is it worth me going into a little tirade about the gold points? I feel like it might be. Ah! Ouch. Oh, sure, now I get the extra health. Solar Flare says, I thought you were stupid when we sang welcome to Solar Flare, like welcome to New York. Not like I'm saying welcome to Solar Flare. My, how the turns have tabled. Okay. Oh, there is a point to that. Ah! Oh no! I accidentally hit the button. I didn't mean it. It's my fault. I applied pressure to the button and then I'm like, oh, I can't do take backsies now. Rip gold points in the voucher system, says JP. Yeah, I didn't really hear anything about the voucher system. What's going on with that? For anyone who might be questioning, like, what are they talking about? Nintendo is getting rid of gold points in the very near future. Gold points being, kind of rewards for you buying their games, whether it be digitally or physically. You would get a reward for buying the games, like a little bit of money back, essentially. That's basically what the gold points were. In the case of physical games, you would get, I think it's 1% of every dollar. Yeah, for every $1 you spent, you would get 1 cent back in gold points rewards that you could use for other eShop purchases. And, for a $60 physical game, that translates to 60 cents. And that doesn't sound like a whole lot. And it isn't, but honestly, like, it piles up over time. I've never been able to like buy a full game from my gold points, for example, but it was always nice. Like a nice little discount on like an indie game or something. Like that's how I basically always use my gold points. And sad to see that going away. It wasn't like a huge deal for me, but it was a nice little perk. You're not allowed to have opinions. Praise the silhouette. Giving up already, huh? I see. Might be time to look up that walkthrough. I know you hate doing that, but... Yeah, but is it worth being stuck on the same part for days on end? Is it? I see. That's cute. For anyone who's like missing half of the conversation because Sky's probably not being picked up in the microphone, she has been playing the new Tomb Raider remastered trilogy, 4 through 6. She's on number 4 right now, but she's been getting stuck quite a bit. And she pretty much refuses to look up a walkthrough unless I look it up. And apparently, I guess the part of the reason for that is she thinks it's... No, I didn't want it! No! Can I kill myself? Do I need to kill myself? She thinks it's more fun to watch the walkthrough together because we're spending time together. So, that's fair. Tomb Raider? I knew it, says Aurora. Yes, you did. Mr. Face says hello, Skylar. Mr. Face. Mr. Face. She says hello back. JP Moreno says, I never took super crazy advantage of gold points, but it was nice to save a bit more when I buy smaller games or indie games on the eShop. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat, Moreno. Jumping into the background count, too. Why the heck get rid of them, says Solar Flare. So, hang on. Hang on. So, I do have some thoughts on that. I kind of stopped buying games physically, says Mr. Face. I can't. I have a problem. I'm gonna try going through that level one more time with without squawks, just because I feel like I know where this is. I think it's right at the end. I shouldn't have hit the button right away. Jeff Heloy is done in the stream again, so I'm reminding you, get drinking water. Thank you. So why the heck get rid of the gold points? I feel like part of the reason they even introduced the gold point system in the first place was to give people more of an incentive to buy more of their games, or, you know, yeah, like an incentive or like a reward, like, hey, we know that we're in kind of dire straits right now, here's some gold points for buying our games. Like, remember, they were just coming off of the Wii U generation, and obviously that wasn't super great for them. So, I think it was like kind of a goodwill move to get people back on their side again. And now that people are back on their side, and it's like, well, we don't really need to give people more of a reason to buy our games. They're just gonna buy our games because we're Nintendo and people like our games. Like, they're kind of back on top again. Maybe not on top, maybe that's the wrong word for it, but they're back in good shape. And, long story short, they don't really need the gold points anymore. In the end, it only benefited us, the customer, which, well, you know how much customer or companies love to just do things that only benefit the customer and not them, right? I don't know, that might be a bit of a cynical outlook on it, but I don't think it's unrealistic. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is Nintendo maybe gearing up for something better than the current system? Probably not, but, you know, suppose they are. Okay, I thought I knew where the puzzle piece was. Apparently I was wrong. Apparently I was dummies. So hang on. That does nothing. Does this do nothing? Alright, yeah, I think so. I'm gonna need squawks. I'm gonna need squawks. I didn't see the points in gold points. Lol. This is Blue's cat. Oh. And wham. A physical game is a preservation, says Chris. Yeah, I think that that's part of the reason why I do physical games instead of digital. The other reason is I'm an old man and I just prefer that. It's just a way of me playing video games that I got used to, and I don't want to go to the newfangled system, but I will when I have to. Nintendo, we saw the Switch sales. You guys will buy regardless. Yeah, pretty much, Aurora. Pretty much. What's up, Neil? Welcome to the stream. There's always a catch with Nintendo, says JP. You're not wrong. Level you just played through is my favorite level in the entire game, says J-Dog. Is it really? Is it because it's a silhouette level? Welcome to the stream also. Meow, meow, meow. I just need the last puzzle piece. I just need it. Or J-Dog, is it because of the Mr. Game & Watch cameo? I enjoyed that. Very foggy in here. Or piracy while we're at it, says Chris. Oh, piracy being a means of preservation? Yeah. I mean, if no one else is going to, the fans will. Preserve the games, I mean. I mean, certainly the fans will also pirate. I digress. Huh? Question mark? Squawks ruins the ambience. Or the ambiance. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but I've already gone through it twice. I'm less concerned about the ambiance of the level now. You know, it would have actually been a nice touch if they made Squawk silhouette as well for these levels. Like, yeah, it'd be a nice little touch. That way he doesn't, like, it's not just a bright green thing. Hello? What do you see, Squawks? What are you seeing? What is he seeing? What? Huh? Are you kidding me? That's where it was, huh? Alright. Yeah, sure. Okay. Alright. You know, I don't want to use Squawks on every level, but I feel like I have been lately. And with secrets like that, I feel no shame. None whatsoever. Like, oh, there's these barely visible clouds of smog that look exactly like everything else you've seen in the level. Let's hide a puzzle piece behind it. I'm glad blowing is a mechanic, says Aurora. I think it blows. Yes, because it's a silhouette and they do it in the coolest way possible. Introducing this factory in complete smog feels really cool introduction-wise, says J-Dog. It does, I agree. Jeff. Also, Jeff, piracy will preserve the games no matter what. A file is a file, can't be destroyed unless deleted or corrupted. It's a solar flare. Yeah, once it's been preserved digitally, let's just say it would be very difficult to remove it. Especially if you disperse it. That's 1 point for Jeff not liking the silhouette level. Lol, says Chris. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I'm not in love with it like everybody else seems to be. Again, it's cool. I kind of just don't get the big deal. I just hope Nintendo continues to be humble going into the Switch 2, not just assuming we'll buy anything just because, and give people more of what they really want out of their games, and more. Yeah, I agree, JP. I hope that they don't get cocky. Like, the biggest example I normally think of when I think of a company that got cocky is Sony going from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3. And honestly, you can hardly blame them, right? Like they had 2 consoles to their name, right? And they were... Oh, how do I get up there? They had 2 consoles to their name. Like, they were relatively new to the business, but boy, they were killing it. And they just thought, well, we're Sony. We're the greatest video game company on Earth. People will buy our stuff no matter what. And then they tried to sell the PlayStation 3 for what at the time was $600. Crunch. What at the time was $600, but in today's currency would be closer to 900-ish. And I feel like there's a quote that I remember going over with my friends on our podcast. The quote was something like, "We want people to feel like they will be willing to take a second job in order to afford our game console," or something like that. And in fairness, in absolute fairness, their console was a beast. Nobody really knew how to take advantage of those, the cell processor and everything, so that power wasn't really shown. And it was 3 systems in one. It was a PlayStation 3 with a PlayStation 2 system on a chip, which was also capable of playing PlayStation 1 games. It had a lot going for it. But that price tag was just too much. And, yeah. Sony had to backtrack on that a little bit. And I don't think they necessarily got more humble or anything. But I do think that they learned a bit of a lesson as to, you know, how far can you push the market before it breaks. I'd like them to learn that lesson again with some of their game designs. Come on, all the live service games that they've canceled. Jeez, I think Sony needs a little bit more of that humble pie, if you know what I'm saying. Jeff, we should be concerned about this new law that might get passed called KOSA, the Kids Off Social Media Act, meaning some of your audience is illegally watching your videos. Just a reminder. How is that different from COPPA? I have to ask. I don't know anything about this KOSA law. I like the painting level from New Mario U more than Silhouette, to be honest, says Chris. See, I'm not as in love with that one either. I mean, I think people mostly like that one because it was unique. Anyway. Jeff doesn't get the big deal about Silhouette stages. Everyone else in a chanting manner. Not one of us. Not one of us. Solar Flare says PS3's $600 reveal was one of the worst live moments in gaming history. Set PlayStation back 10 years. For sure, PS3 is their worst-selling PlayStation console, other than the Vita. Aw, heckerdoodles, me battery is low. Afraid I can't tune into this stream, Jeef Beef. I have a phone to charge. So, Plush, I appreciate you tuning into the stream. Regardless, I hope that you have a good night. Also, if you got a PS3, also get Little Big Planet and Little Big Planet 2. Honestly, those would be on the list, for sure. I honestly almost bought a PlayStation 3 on eBay a couple nights ago. I found one that had like 5 or 6 games included, a controller or 2, and all the cables and everything. And it was a PlayStation Slim, or a PlayStation 3 Slim, not the Super Slim. But it was a PlayStation 3 Slim with like 4 or 5, maybe it was more games, and 2 controllers, I think, and all the cables. For $90. And nobody bid on it. Like, I literally almost pulled the trigger on it, and then I'm like, no, I should be saving up for the Switch 2, and I really want one of those, uh-oh. I really want one of those analog 3Ds. And I want a new graphics card, and I would like new screens. I got a lot of things to save up for. A PlayStation 3 is not super high priority at the moment. Although, if I ever do get a PlayStation 3, yes, Little Big Planet will be on the list, but so will the HD remasters of Ratchet & Clank, Sly Cooper, and Jak and Daxter. As well as all the PlayStation 3 exclusives, like, you know, the Ratchet & Clank games on the PS3. Plus, it'd be a great way to play PlayStation 1 games. And if I were able to soft mod it, I think that you're able to soft mod a PlayStation 3 Slim to play PS2 ISOs. I don't know how well that works, but it's certainly something I would want to look into. Yeah. Well, that went well. Just could not get out of my own way. What? Jeff, what? Hang on. I had a TikTok account and Discord account before I turned 13, technically breaking the law, so I'm sure this would be the same, meaning not important. 3D.Game Heroes is a great pick. Ooh, I've heard that one's good. Yeah. COPPA is used to provide the highest amount of privacy for users under 13, meaning collecting data from them is illegal, which you said in your videos, says SKL. Yes. Yep, correct. And we thought that was gonna... Oh, COSA is a ban from children on the internet completely, meaning anyone under 13 using social media like TikTok and YouTube is using it illegally. Wonder how they would enforce that one. Technically, to be signed into any of those accounts, you're supposed to be over the age of 13 or over the age of 12. You're supposed to be at least 13 to use those services. And technically you sign the disclaimers and stuff like that. Or you sign the stuff. You check the box saying like I acknowledge blah 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 terms of condition that I have to be over the age of 13 blah blah blah. That sort of stuff. So I'm fine with banning children from the internet, says Aurora. I don't know how fine I am with it. I guess it just depends on the situation. For one, I'm kind of a strict parent when it comes to internet use. My kids are not allowed to watch Roku TV or YouTube or Netflix without our direct supervision. Like, I don't let our kids watch YouTube at all. Mostly just because they have no idea what to watch. Like, JJ sees a Sonic video and he's like, ooh, Sonic. And then, like, he'll click on it and all of a sudden, it's a Sonic.exe video. And, boy, if you've been here long enough, you know how I feel about those. I don't like it. But, like, anytime, like, I'm just scrolling on my phone on YouTube, like, looking at my feed, and JJ just happens to be sitting nearby, he'll try to click on anything that he sees with Mario. What? And I'm like, JJ, what are you doing? He's like, Mario! And I'm like, no, JJ. No. Oh, jeepers. Patience is a virtue. I don't know, like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. I'd have to think about it. Good call on that choice, Jeff. Save your money for a console that actually features Yoshi. Yeah, right? 90 bucks. Jeff, that's like a day of work. I'm buying that. The listing's already over, Solar Flare. It was a bid. But there are similar deals. PlayStation 3 is apparently pretty affordable. Though the games that I want aren't. Like I said, I want the Ratchet & Clank. Oh, jeez. I want the Ratchet & Clank remasters, and that's 60 bucks. So that's the price of a full new game. Ooh, I've wanted to try Infamous. That's kind of a weird choice, but it looks interesting to me, so... Yeah, that's one of the games I'd like to try. Plenty of games on PS3 I'd like to give it a shot. Oh, Jeff, Roku Live has the Mario World show, too. Yeah, I did see that, Solar Flare. I just forgot to respond to your comment. by your DM. I grew up fine with the internet. It's about parenting. Government needs to stay out of this. It's a solar flare. Technically, half of your audience, Jeff, is breaking the law. Well, SKL said under the age of 13, right? I started watching your streams at 11. Now I'm 13 years old, so I'll be fine. Yeah, again, I don't really know where I stand on it. Solar Flare makes a good point. It really does come down to the parenting, and as a parent, it is unfortunately easy to fall into the trap of my kids being loud at the restaurant, here giving my phone. It is easy to fall into that trap. And I didn't want to be one of those parents. I still don't, but frankly, parenting is hard. Still, it does come down to the parenting. You're right. And then I also question, how would you enforce something like that? Like, are you gonna Face ID the kids to make sure that they sign in, like, when they sign in, they're not, like, identified as under the age of 13? So, I don't know. How are you gonna enforce something like that? Again, I stress, in order to have a YouTube account or a Google account, you need to certify that you're over the age of 13, if I'm not mistaken. Plenty of people just lie. Weird people make a profit with brain rot video and messing with children who don't know any better. How come you forgot Last of Us, lol, says Chris. I didn't forget. I have it on the PlayStation 4. But I only got this as part of a Best Buy Black Friday deal when I bought my PS4. I haven't played it. And part of the reason for that is I'm not a big fan of zombie games. I just don't like zombies. I think they're overblown. I don't think they're very interesting. Though maybe there's more to that game than just the zombies. I also am kind of over the whole, unless you've got an interesting way of doing it, I'm kind of over the whole, post-apocalyptic sort of angle. I think it's just way overdone at this point. So, I don't know. It doesn't really interest me all that much. Nice to hear this song from DKC1 rearranged. Never knew it showed up in another game, says JP. Honestly, like, most of the music in this game seems to be, like, remixes from the original Donkey Kong Country. If you ever give your children a device that has online, make sure it has parental controls, says SKL. Yeah, we've got the tablet, parental control to oblivion. And I'm really trying hard not to give our kids the phones, because it just has our personal accounts on it, not a parental controlled account. Kids are becoming more isolated and dependent on the internet for socialization, says Aurora. Well, yeah, that's an unfortunate truth, but a truth nonetheless. Yeah, I think that's kind of true for all of us, isn't it? Solar Flare says, I'm somewhat libertarian, so I don't really like the government doing anything that's not actively helping people, not messing with family, business, in sketchy ways. Yeah, and that definitely has merit, for sure. I'd have to do some thinking about it to see, decide where I really stand. When I created my YouTube channel, it was parent-ran since I was at a young age, says Mr. Face. There you go. Yeah, that's another complicating factor. Like, can you have, like, a parent who co-signs for the account or something? A parental-controlled account, per se. I don't know, I think there's ways to do it that would be better than just strictly banning kids from using the internet. They're not zombies, they're infected, as they say. They can call them whatever they want, Chris. If they're basically brainless, walking around and wanting to eat brains, then they're zombies. Like, I felt that way in the Maze Runner. Like, has anybody here ever watched the Maze Runner movies? Sky bought them for Black Friday several years ago. We watched them together. And, like, I was actually really interested in, like, where the story was going when I first saw the first one. I'm like, ooh, this is an interesting premise. What's gonna happen? And then, by the third movie, zombies. Like, that whole thing where, you know, they... like, the kids or the people, I guess, they were kids. The kids who would, like, try to get through the maze, if they got stung by the monsters in there or whatever, they turned into, like they basically went rabid. Like, they got to be, or rabid? Yeah, rabid, that's the word for it. They ended up being, like, rabid, and nobody really knew why. But, yeah, by the third movie, it's just, oh, the world is zombie apocalypse now. Whoa, giant robot eye! A word of advice, if you become a parent, don't give your kids an iPad, or they'll become an iPad kids. Says Chris. I think that there's a way to do it well. Again, I stress, we have a tablet that the kids get to play games on every once in a while, but we severely limit the things that they can do on it. Like, they don't have access to YouTube. They don't have access to Google or the Google Play Store. It's basically just a few mobile games that they can play, and only the ones that we give them access to. I think that there's a way to do it wisely. But if you just give an iPad to a kid and don't limit them whatsoever, yeah, that's a problem. Also, part of the whole parenting thing is having discretion as to when you give the tablet to the kids to play. I don't think that you really need to just strictly have them not have access to one. Whoa! Huh? This guy's made this point as well. We're living in an age of technology, and frankly, it's very difficult to get around that. Like, part of it is, if you keep your kids from learning how to use the technology, it's honestly extremely prevalent in the world all around us, and the most formative ages of a child's life are the ages, well, 0 to 5. That's when they learn the most, that's when they grow the most. And it's not like they wouldn't be able to learn, I guess, if you kept the technology from them for a while, but I do think it's at least beneficial for them to understand how it works. And I think the only real way of getting that, experience is, well, getting the experience. Essentially what I'm saying is, I let my kids use a tablet, but essentially no more than like an hour or two per day, spread out through the day, and they are very limited as to what they can do on it. I think that's kind of the right approach, or at the very least, a decent middle ground. Maybe not the right approach, but I think it's at least a decent middle ground. Ooh, Maze Runner, I grew up with that. J-Dog, you just made me feel old. I'm getting a capture card in the Switch 2 for my birthday, says Escale. Nice. iPad kids with Cheetos covered iPads, as they say. Oh, I always make my kids wash their hands before they use the technology, including my controllers. I might be a little overboard, I'll be honest. I had very little supervision, and I've been on the internet since a super young age, but I turned out fine because I was parented still. It's not technology that's corrupting our youth, it's poor parenting and lack of connections, says Solar Flare. Yeah, I agree with that. Whether we like it or not, technology is prevalent in our lives, and unless you're willing to live Amish, there's not much getting around that. I don't even want to call it, like, unnecessary evil. I don't really think technology is evil. as with money, like, money itself isn't evil, it's what you choose to do with it. Likewise, I think technology is in the same boat. Like, tech by itself isn't evil. I don't think tech is bad. Obviously, like, I'm very into tech. But it all depends on how you use it. And, you know, as with being a parent, as with anything, it's how you expose your kids to it that really makes the difference. Or whether you expose them to it, that's up to you to choose. But there's pros and cons to all those approaches, I think. JP says, when I was a kid, smartphones were in their infancy, and I didn't own one. Kids really have it different now. I'm sounding old. Yeah, you want to feel old, JP? The first smartphone didn't even come out until I was 13. 2007, the iPhone. I didn't even have a desire for a smartphone at the time. Dirty hands touching tech disgusts me, so I don't blame you one bit. I've been a clean freak for most of my life. Yeah, same here, JP. Like, hang on. I'm gonna make a point about that. There have been kind of cycles of like, ooh, black technology is where it's at. No, white tech is really cool. So I've seen my fair share of like white technology things. Like this here 3DS. This is my special edition Yoshi 3DS. Here, you know what? I'm even gonna switch over to my big cam for this. This is my special edition Yoshi 3DS. The only thing that's even yellowing at all is the stylus, which is kind of in rough shape. I wish I could replace it, but they don't make like genuine Nintendo first-party styluses now. And you can kind of see like the screen's got a little bit of grime on it just because I haven't cleaned it in a bit, but no scratches. I always kept my stuff pristine. That's just kind of how I roll. And I'm going to raise my kids to be, well, I'm going to encourage them to do that as well. Oh. PS3 is like the middle child of the PlayStations. Everyone brings up the PlayStation 1, everyone loves the PS2 and PS4. PS5 is the newest. I barely hear anyone mention the PS3. I still have an active one, says J-Dog. I want one. And it's mostly just because of the games that I could get on it. As with any video game console, that's really what makes me want to buy one, is the games that are on it. Exclusive sell a console is what they said back in the day. And I feel like that's still true. You buy a Nintendo console to play Nintendo games. Though more and more people are, I'm getting off track, hang on. I would like a PlayStation 3. There's plenty of games that I would like on a PlayStation 3. But it's not a priority. The PlayStation 4 was my first PlayStation console. And then I bought a PlayStation 5 a few months ago. And that's all. Like, that's my exposure to PlayStation. It's not like I have, like, a vendetta or something against them. I was a Nintendo kid growing up. And I very much still am. As I say in my interview with one of my friends, for my old YouTube channel's eulogy. What in the world? My heart still bleeds Nintendo Red. That's kind of a way of saying it, but it's true. Like, I'm a Nintendo fan through and through. That Yoshi 3DS was the one I was considering getting before the Red Smash Bros. Edition one. Yeah, I saw that it was a Yoshi special edition and I had to have it. I might sound like an old man, but my type of gadget is my father's PSP, now mine, and PC with Bubbles wallpaper or Green Hill wallpaper. That's where I played Sonic 06, lol. That doesn't make you sound like an old man, Chris. Well, maybe not to me anyway. The PS3 is a beast for its time. Nathaniel Bandy favorite Sony consoles, PlayStation 3, by the way. Is it really? He's known as the Mario guy, and his favorite system is the PlayStation 3. That's kind of funny to me. That's fine, though. I've heard worse black versus white debates. Sega stopping console making is what saved them, but it was still a move. I used to own a PlayStation 2 and a PSP, says Mr. Face. We don't have colored tech anymore, just black and white, says Aurora. Yeah, there's something to be said about the special editions, right? Like, however many special editions of the 3DS there were. And DS, all the DS colors. The different controllers for N64, GameCube even. I do miss that. I will say that the spirit of it is kind of alive with the Joy-Cons. As much as I hate to say that. For all the bad things that the Joy-Con has going for it, it's also got some good things going for it, if you ask me. And one of them is just how fun the colors are. There's so many different colors. And like, if you want to give your Switch some personality, just slap some special colorful Joy-Cons on there. And there you go, you've got a different colored system. I think that's honestly a decent approach. Like, the base system is a boring black shell, right? But if you put the colorful Joy-Cons on there, it doesn't really make up for it doesn't really make up for the lack of color choices for the system, but I think it's still a decent approach. Plus that way, like, if you want a different color for your Switch, like, you don't have to buy a whole new console, I guess. I don't know. Oh. What? Hello. I had to get all the banana medals. Usually it's just the bananas that you have to get in order to get all the to get the puzzle piece. Huh. Alright. Fine. I suppose I accept this fate. Hey, welcome back, SKL. Excuse me. Solar Flare says, I forget I'm low-key friends with Nathaniel Bandy. I talk to him in Twitter DMs all the time. That's really cool, honestly. I once traded my Wii for a PlayStation 3 just to try something different. Regretted it so much. I personally realized most of what I love to play are mainly first-party Nintendo games. Lesson learned from me, says Moreno. Yeah, I learned that lesson kind of when I wanted a Game Boy Advance. Back in the day, I had a Game Boy Color. It was one of like the teal ones. I really liked that one. And I had a bunch of games on it. Like, I had Donkey Kong Country on it. I had a bunch of games on it. I forget all of the games that I had. But you'll notice I say had. And that's because I wanted that Game Boy Advance. And I decided that I was going to sell my Game Boy Color and my games for it. I was going to sell those things on eBay to save up some money for the Game Boy Advance. Little did I know that the Game Boy Advance was capable of playing all of my Game Boy Color and Game Boy games. I had no idea. No one ever told me. I didn't watch, like, that many commercials for the darn thing. I just knew I wanted one. So I sold my Game Boy Color, and, yeah. Found out later I could play Game Boy games on it. Unfortunately, like, I just happened to forget to sell some of my Game Boy games. So I still had Game & Watch Gallery 2, for example. But, you know, I certainly regret making that move. I would buy a Game Boy Color later in life from my brother-in-law. And, I ended up... I've shown it on stream quite a few times. I don't feel the need to do it now. Chances are, if you've been to a stream before, you've probably seen me pull up my custom Yoshi-themed Game Boy Color that I made on Livestream a while back. Yeah, so now I have a Game Boy Color again. No regrets. Owies. But I do miss my childhood Game Boy Color. N64 Yoshi is the best Yoshi render. It's so cute, says SKL. Yeah, Yoshi Story Yoshi is definitely in contention for the cutest Yoshi. For me, it's between that, or it's between that Yoshi and Yoshi's Crafted World Yoshi, just because Yoshi's Crafted World Yoshi dances and sings. Of course, Yoshi's Story Yoshi also does those things. So there you go. Yeah, I think you're probably right, SKL. Yoshi Story Yoshi, cutest Yoshi. Owies. There's only one Ninja Turtles reference in Family Guy, says Yoshi Daffy Duck. The fact that there is one, I shudder to think of what they could have possibly done in that. I shudder to think of the direction they could have gone with that Family Guy Ninja Turtles reference. Owies. You know, with how innovative the Switch is for Nintendo, if they ever made an entirely new concept for a console, what would it be? Fun what-if speculation. J-Dog, as fun as that sounds, I have learned not to even try to get in Nintendo's head and figure out what they're gonna do next or what they have planned. Just because they're so unpredictable. It's like the Switch, in hindsight, is so obvious. It makes so much sense. But no one had ever done anything like that before. So, I don't know, like, Nintendo gonna be Nintendo. They're gonna do what they want. They always try to find such innovative ways for us to play our games. They never like to settle for the industry standard, and that bites them in the butt a few times, absolutely. But then you get things like the Switch, which sets the new industry standard. That's also something Nintendo's on again, off again good at, is setting the industry standard. The D-pad, for example, was not an industry standard before Nintendo. The 4 buttons on the controller that we have now. The ABXY. Like, different companies have different, you know... Yeah, different companies have different ways of implementing that, like different letters or different symbols on the face buttons. But Nintendo was the first one that I'm aware of to have the 4 buttons on their controller. Yeah. Nintendo the reason why we have, like, analog sticks in the capacity that we have them now. Like, there were analog or joysticks before, like Atari and arcade cabinets and whatnot, but I don't think they were analog. And they certainly weren't the same as they are now, but, you know, the analog stick started in its modern iteration, how we all know and love it, on the N64. PlayStation followed suit with their DualShock. Nintendo was really the first one to make motion controls mainline. Love them or hate them, they're like the grandfather of gyro aiming and gyro controls, which I feel like most people enjoy. I know I do. Like, Nintendo has been the one to set so many standards. It's kind of nuts when you think about it. And then it's also kind of nuts just how often they fall on their face. But I think that is the downside of always trying to be the one to innovate, trying to be the one to do something new. Sometimes the thing that you're doing new just doesn't work. Oh no. So, I guess all that is to say, I ain't even gonna try to guess what Nintendo would do next. Not even gonna try. Okay. He said that in the ranking video, he had 2 options, buy an Xbox 360 or the PS3. Eventually he settled with the PlayStation 3 and loved the console. What an interesting story for Nathaniel Bandy. I would have assumed it would have been a Nintendo console. But that's fun. I actually beat the OG Pokemon Blue on my brother's Game Boy Advance SP. Beat the champion with Venusaur, Beedrill, Raichu, Wigglytuff, Poliwrath, and Dragonite. Still proud of it, says J-Dog. Half of what you just said is Greek to me, but good on you. Yoshi's Crafted World is an easy game, while Yoshi's Story is real man's game. SKL, I don't think anyone's ever said that. They sing the song with the following. Yeah, no. I feel like there's plenty of people that say that. I don't hear it. Unless I try really hard to hear it. It would be so hard to go back to a home console only system. Love the Switch as it is, and I'm glad Nintendo likes the think outside the box sometimes to get to that point. Says JP. Yeah, I'll get back to that in just a sec. I do want to add a comment to that. What? I missed another thing here? How? I've been wanting to play Yoshi's Story forever, says Mr. Face. Highly encourage it. Highly encourage it. Like, I forget if you said that you'd been going back. I think it was you who said that you'd been going back and watching my old live streams. I would encourage you, if that's the case, and you're interested in watching my older live streams. Wow, alright, there's the puzzle pieces. I did a pretty fantastic recap of Yoshi's Story on my last Yoshi live stream. Yeah, I gave the game a pretty good wrap-up, and I feel like I made some pretty good points. And I definitely think that you should give it a shot. In whatever capacity you have to be able to do that, I would highly encourage it. I moved my Wii to my room. Oh, Jeff, it's been Wii Gimmick V2, Switch Gimmick V2. What's their next gimmick after the Switch 2? I don't know, Solar Flare. I don't know. I kind of hope they break that cycle. With going V3, V4, honestly, I think that Nintendo struck gold with the Switch. I think it's I absolutely think it's a winning formula. It might be a little short-sighted of me. Maybe it will be in a different spot in another 7 or 8 years, and we'll be wanting something new and fresh. I know some people already do, you included. But again, I think the Switch 2 is a winning formula. Like JP said, for me, it would be hard to go back to simply a home console or simply a handheld console. I think especially simply a handheld console. For the purposes of live streaming and content creation, simply doing handheld is a pain. I hate just having handheld consoles at this point for content creation. Unless I can emulate them, then, you know, capturing footage or streaming the games, hard to do well. But also just from a usability standpoint, I've gotten so used to, like, if Sky wants to play Tomb Raider and I want to sit on the couch with her, but I also want to play Mario and Luigi Brothership, which I have done this week, I can do that. Then I can just set the game down and help her with a section if I need to. Or, you know, Shaden woke up last night while I was still playing it, so I sat up in the rocking chair to keep her company while she put herself back to sleep, and I was playing Mario and Luigi Brothership. That kind of flexibility has spoiled me over the last 8 years. And I do think that the Switch came at a really good time in my life. I've told this on stream before, but long story short, I was in college at the time, and I would go to visit my parents every weekend or every other weekend. After I met Sky, it was every other weekend, so I could go see her too. But I always brought my Switch with me. Played Mario Odyssey and Yooka-Laylee and Zelda Breath of the Wild and all those games. On the TV when I got back to my apartment, or at home when I was at home, just sit in the chair and play it on the tablet. I've gotten so used to that sort of user experience that going back to anything else is kind of difficult for me now. And it's like, I have a PlayStation. I obviously can't play that in handheld mode unless I get a PlayStation Portal, which no thank you. Not a huge deal. And it's also like, especially at the stage in my life I'm at now, if I can't play a video game console wherever I go, big whoop, but boy is it a heck of a perk to give you the flexibility. Even if I don't use it all the time, it's there when I need it. I, for one, am very happy that the Switch 2 is essentially just a bigger, better Switch. Or that's what it seems to be, like, positioning itself as. I'm a huge fan of that. I think that it's a winning formula, and I think especially with a diminishing return on graphics these days, unless you're going for like 144p or 144 frames gaming, like, I don't know, I think that graphics are starting to hit a ceiling. Like, in all honesty, I talk up how the PlayStation 5 looks, and it does look great. But at the same time, it doesn't look that much better than a PlayStation 4, if you ask me. Sure, you can get 60 frames per second with the same graphical fidelity, for example. And that's great. But the games don't look all that much better. Ray tracing is nice, but rasterized graphics styles and shaders, or rasterized lighting techniques, for example. I don't even know if I'm saying the right words here, but rasterized graphics versus ray traced. That's kind of a topic of debate these days, but rasterized graphics have been a thing for basically as long as video games have been a thing, right? Maybe not, but 3D games at least. Let's just say that it's a very mature sort of technique at this point. And the fact is, they're able to incorporate it to a degree that, you know, sometimes you can't tell the difference between ray traced and rasterized. There are people who can, but the layperson, like myself, you know, I look at Luigi's Mansion 3 and I'm like, this may as well be ray traced. I know it's not, but it looks great. It doesn't need to be ray traced. Point is, I think we're hitting a ceiling with video game graphics, and there will come a time when it's like, oh, the Switch 2, you know, the games look pretty darn good. Like, if you're okay with 30 frames per second, it still looks great. I'm gonna bite my words. I might bite my tongue on that in a few years when it's like in the same position as the Switch 2, aren't I? Or the Switch 1, rather. I don't know. That and like the whole graphics thing isn't the most important factor to me anymore. I think the TLDR for this one, it's a little hard to come up with one, but the TLDR is, I really like the Switch, and I'm very glad that the Switch 2 is essentially just another Switch. Even if it seems less imaginative than Nintendo usually is, I, for one, am thankful for it. Time to drink water? Not a bad idea. Solar flares, I have no idea what either of those are. Ray tracing is essentially when a 3D video renderer renders light behavior from light rays that they physically model in the game in real time. Ray tracing has been a thing in movies for decades at this point. Ray tracing is not a new technology. It's used to simulate light rays, how light bounces off of surfaces, how shadows are generated, and all that sort of thing. Oh no. That's what ray tracing is, in a nutshell. Like, say, Marvel Spider-Man 2, for example, has ray tracing. When you swing by the buildings, in the glass of the buildings, you can see the reflections of the other buildings. Those are simulated, rays of light. It is accurate to how it would look in real life. The reflections are not fake. Rasterized is essentially just taking a texture and mapping it onto a 3D surface. You can certainly make it very convincing. Shadows, I believe, are also one of the factors here. Like, you can certainly make them look very convincing. but they're not like real light effects. They're not real, or they're not simulated shadows. They're fake shadows. That sort of thing is what rasterized means. And nowadays, that's getting to be like the new hotness for graphics. And I feel like part of the reason for that, why that's getting to be the brand new giant thing that people are always bringing up as a talking point, is because graphics have gotten so good to the point where, you know, how much better can they really get? And I feel like people say that all the time, and it's like, I mean, I remember saying that on the PlayStation 3. Like, oh my goodness, this looks so lifelike. How could it possibly get any better? And it's like, yeah, they can get better. But I feel like we're starting to get to the point where there's less of, I don't know, a difference between the consoles. Like, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, like I just said. I feel like that's an example where the difference isn't as noticeable. That's why they have to start leaning on, like, higher frames, higher resolutions, ray tracing. It's just because otherwise you can't really tell that much of a difference. You look at God of War on PlayStation 4 versus God of War Ragnarok on PlayStation 5. Like, they're both, I think, going to be very similar looking games. Even if one of them is technically more impressive with a higher resolution and frame rate, I feel like that doesn't matter as much to as many people as, like, ooh, look at the graphic style. And in that way, I think Nintendo Switch 2 is set up for being in pretty good shape because, you know, their graphic style is fantastic. And so long as their graphics are able to hit a certain baseline, I think that most people are going to be satisfied. Especially considering, like, Nintendo's core audience. Like, especially, like, mainstream audiences. Hello? I'm sorry, I'm getting really behind on comments, so I really want to catch up here. So after I beat this challenge. Challenge? What is this? Hello? Should I have done that? Was there more that I should have done first? What is this? What happened? Did I fail? What did I do wrong? Alright, you know what? I've got to catch up on some comments. I apologize. Let's see. PS Vita is my favorite Sony handheld. If the thing is modded, otherwise it's just a brick, says Chris. That sounds about right. Funny that the voice of Chris Griffin from Family Guy is also the voice of 2012 Leonardo. Yeah, the third voice actor for Leonardo. I don't understand what happened with that character. I hope Splatoon 4 can be a battle royale, says SKL. That sounds interesting. Having a handheld and a home console at the same time with minor connection was perfect. Talking about Wii U / 3DS era. I still prefer the Switch. I want a high-powered, strict business console. Nintendo games on a PS5, basically, says Solar Flare. Yeah, well, I'm not in that same boat. About that comment about sounding like an old man, most people don't even know the PSP or Windows 7, says Chris. Oh my goodness, really? I grew up on Windows XP, my guy. I'll always remember my sister being in awe when she first saw me put on my Joy-Cons from the system into the grip controller. She couldn't stop saying how cool that was at the time, lol, says JP. Yeah, see, there you go. Nintendo sometimes innovates and does something really awesome. It's time to drink water, it's time to drink water, it's time to drink water. Thank you, SKL. Marino says she's never been a gamer, but she's always down for Mario Kart or Mario Party on Wii, and now Switch. Yeah, that's the mainstream market I'm talking about. In a similar vein to SKL, but on a more wholesome note, when I listen to that Yoshi Story song, I always hear "Let the Plant Go." This is J-Dog. I just hear gibberish, to be honest. Or at least Nintendo. Frame rate matters a lot to me, says Solar Flare. Oh, I've noticed that on PS5. I'm the kind of guy that'll take a steady 30 over a choppy 60. Or a stuttery 60. Plus, I'm kind of just... Being a Nintendo guy, I'm used to 30 frames. Just wait. The next gaming innovation will be smell-o-vision. Yeah, I hope not. That sounds awful. I think there's this YouTube Shorts creator, I think his name is Garrett the Gamer. If you've seen any of those videos where, like, the guy's eyeballs and mouth are on the video game console, and he's like, you know, talking like he's the console or whatever, and he calls the Xbox bread box, that's him. I think he was making a note about Sony, like, putting smell-o-vision in their games, and he's like, ew, I don't want to smell the rotting flesh of a corpse from The Walking Dead, like that sort of thing. I'm paraphrasing, of course. He may not have said exactly that. So what am I supposed to do with this? Oh, I meant the title song, not the credits. Oh. Oh, I gotcha. Jeff, you countered your own argument. We're always going to be able to do better. Oh, ray tracing, not rage tracing. I don't know if I countered it. Maybe I did. I mean, like, how realistic games are looking. Like, I think the models for the characters more what I meant. Like, you can only get it to look so much like a person, or more like a person to a certain extent. There's only so far you can take that. But yeah, you're right. And as I said, there are innovations that will continue being a thing, like ray tracing. But I don't think ray tracing is as big of a deal, like they're trying to lean into it as. Like, you think about the graphics improvement from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3. That's a big improvement to me. Ray tracing is like, oh, that's a cool new feature. Yeah, I guess that's it. In the Smash Bros. Version of the Yoshi story theme, the singing Yoshi sing much, much better. They must have been practicing. Blow on the things? I can try that. I guess it was just to plug the thing in? There's got to be more to it than that, right? The new Wario game would be the first video game to have smell-o-vision, lol. Oh no, I hope not. When you see a corpse in the game, you'll actually smell a lovely black cherry scent. This is Aurora. That sounds realistic. Yes, you hit the button, Jeff, the big red candy-like button, Ren and Stimpy reference. I'm confused. Did that do anything else? Doesn't seem like it. When will the new Jeff Awards happen? I want one, says SKL. Couldn't tell you honestly. No idea. I'm not really in charge of those things. Solar Flare has taken the active role on that one. So I guess whenever he decides he wants to do another one. What did I do? What did that do for me? I don't understand. Like, everything was moving before, was it not? Oh, no. So what did that do for me? Did that do anything? Oh, oh, oh. Nope. Okay, I'm so confused. I don't know what that did. You gotta hit a red button on the next couple stages. Oh, it does something over on the map, not in the level. Is that what it is? I mean, if that's the case, cool. Whee! I got all the puzzle pieces. Let's go. Yeah, I'll take that. Sure. Whoa! Reminds me of the Wii being so similar in power to the GameCube. The only way to make Brawl look more impressive was changing the style to Solar Flare. Yeah, exactly. It was made with the same architecture. The same, yeah, the same sort of chip design. Even the Wii U had that going on, I think. Though, that one was more... Like, the Wii basically was just an overclocked GameCube. I think the Wii U was a bit more of a... I don't know. A bit more of an improvement than that, but it was still, like, a similar architecture. They put all the budget into Mario's denim. Yeah, yeah. Would you like Yoshi's Story or a Kirby game to have smell-o-vision? Oh, wait. Do Yoshi stink? They eat so much fruit, I imagine that... I can't imagine that they would smell unpleasant. Kirby just eats everything. Like, he's known for eating curries. And if you eat enough curry, let's just say that it will come through. Hyper-realistic genes. Wii U was HD, though, so graphical improvements were made. He's a dinosaur, says Solar Flare. Yeah, graphical improvements for sure made. I'm just saying that the architecture was similar between the two. Between the Wii, the Wii U, and the GameCube. It's to the point where, literally, if Nintendo wanted to, they could have, like... It's not quite as simple as this, but essentially they could have just, like, flipped the switch and made the GameCube or the Wii U backwards compatible with GameCube games. They just decided not to. The architectural design of the chips used in the Wii U and the Wii and the GameCube were that similar. Which, to me, is kind of wild. I don't know about you guys. It's part of the reason that you can hack your Wii U and put on a program called Nintendo and play GameCube games essentially natively. They will play perfectly on a Wii U. It just does not have the ability. Nintendo did not give it the ability to read a GameCube disc. You probably smell like a lizard. What does a lizard smell like? Hey Jeff, how do I get a Jeff award, says SKL. That has to go to the rewards committee, aka Justin and myself. It depends on the criteria, and we kind of have to be the ones to decide like who gets the rewards. Or the awards. Unpopular opinion, but I actually love this shiny toy-like look a lot of mainline Wii U games had. I miss that aesthetic, says J-Dog. I'm getting disenchanted with the whole, like, toy-like art styles, and everything looks like it was made in, like, out of real-world materials. Like, I'm disenchanted with that art style overall. Genesis does what Nintendo don't, says Mr. Face. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, you get the reference. But that's the name of the program that allows you to play GameCube ISOs on your Wii U. It's called Nintendo. Very cool program. JP says, I've been wondering, some Yoshi fans are divided on which design they prefer, the dino-like hunched over look or the modern, more upright design first used in Yoshi's Story. Personally, I'm biased towards modern look since that's the look he had when I started to be a fan of him. I think I'm kind of in the same boat. There's also some like... Oh. There's also some debate between, like, which, version of the modern style you like better, like... man. Like, there's a design of Yoshi, right, that looks very much like his modern style. You could even consider this one more modern style, like the ones that you see in, like, the Mario Party sort of 2D artwork, for example. With a Yoshi going back, and instead of having his more rounded off spines, his eyes are a bit different. The way his mouth is shaped is a little bit different. Like, there's some division of the Yoshi fans on which of those designs is better. And I'm kind of just like, I like all of them. Do I have to make a choice? I don't know that I can. It's all Yoshi. I like it all. I feel bad that I'm such a fence sitter when it comes to the Yoshi art styles. I think I am the most used to the modern Yoshi style that I use on my live streams, for example. Like no. Well, I was gonna go to like my welcome to the stream screen so you could see which one I'm talking about, but it's the one that I use in my stream artwork. And oh wait, hang on. The one that I use in my Yoshi cover, my YouTube cover photo. Hang on, go to my channel. I'm talking to myself, not to you guys. This one, like this is the one that I'm the most accustomed to. And there's a more there's a different one. Let me look it up. Hang on. Let's see if I can find something. Which Yoshi design do you prefer? Yeah, here we go. This is kind of, it's a low kind of quality picture, but you'll get the idea. This is kind of what I'm talking about. This is obviously Yoshi's Super Mario World look, how he looked in the original Mario World, and kind of started to go back to in Mario Wonder, for example. He kind of went back to having that sort of hunched dinosaur, more like dinosaur stance. People praised that. This is the design that I'm the most used to, the one here in the middle, with the more rounded off spines. It kind of is a changed sort of eye sort of style. And I don't know, he's kind of just more, you know, I hate to say anthropomorphized because, well, I think you get the idea. Like he looks more like a sort of a body type of a regular person with just like normal proportions other than his head, obviously. And then like this is another design that's more prevalent now. Like they say alternate modern design. This is used in like the more modern Mario Party games, for example. I have a shirt with this design. Like the eyes kind of go back to the Yoshi's Mario World design. Let's see. The nostril design is like the same as the Mario World, whereas like it's just lines here. The mouth shape is a little different. You can see that. And the spines are a little bit more pointy, and the shoes are a little different. I don't know, like this is the one I'm the most used to. But I like all three. I can't really decide which one I like better. I just like all of them, but I'm the most used to the middle one. So there you go. There's my thoughts on the Yoshi art styles. I like them all. Give me on any of them. I'll be happy. Frog Yoshi, says Aurora. I can see people liking both Yoshi designs in different ways. The current design is much cuter, but his original design looks a lot more like a dinosaur, says Mr. Face. Yeah, I agree. SKL says Yoshi's Woolly World is the best Yoshi game, even better than Island. Here's why. Not only there are music tracks like Yoshi Cookie Yarn, Yoshi Takes Shape, and Special Course, but the game is beautiful and in HD. Let me just say this, SKL. I'm definitely going to be delving deep into Yoshi's Island versus Yoshi's Woolly World in my next video, and I will make a determination for myself which one is actually better and why. And of course, it's going to be my opinion in the video. You feel free to agree or disagree with it as you like. But yeah, I look forward to putting out that video. I think it's going to be a good one. I know what you mean. The modern 2D artwork likes to combine classic and modern Yoshi. It's fascinating. He became more human-like. You can see it in the arms and hands. Yeah. I've kind of put in my 2 cents on that one at this point, right? I'll just be repeating myself if I keep talking about it. I do like the current Yoshi design more, though I like it way more when he's hunched over, says Mr. Face. Like in Super Mario Party Jamboree. Yeah, and Mario Wonder. I feel like people have gotten to really prefer that. And I can kind of see why. Again, I don't have a huge preference. I think it's one of those things that it's going to take me some time to get used to, but I don't mind the change. Yeah, Mario Party Jamboree, I felt like they actually did a really good job with it. Oh boy. Oh no, I messed up! Okay. Live action Yoshi. It's the best Yoshi, because it's Yoshi in RTX mode. You know, Chris, you're not wrong. When I said toy, like, I didn't mean that. I mean stuff in, like, Nintendo 3D, Nintendo Land, Mario 3D World, etc. No, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, everything looks shiny and plasticky. I think I get you. Oh. I think I understand. Okay. Owies. I stink. Oh no, please don't remind me, says Mr. Face. Yeah, the, Mario movie. Yeah. Yeah, not the greatest. I mean, I've not seen the movie, so I can't... Can I pass judgment when it's been so thoroughly documented about how bad the movie is? I mean, I am always professing that you can't truly have, like, a rock-solid opinion of something until you have seen it, experienced it, what have you, for yourself. So, by that token, I don't really think I can pass judgment on the Mario movie, but I feel like it's generally well accepted that it's not great. And after having seen Yoshi in it, I'm like, oh no! What you have done to my boy! That sort of thing. Yes, you got it now, says J-Dog. No, I understood. I just don't like the plasticky, sheeny sort of look. Because it reminds me of too much of toys, and I'm getting tired of that. Yoshi probably made more human-like because Yoshi wasn't really treated more like friend. I almost got through all that. It's Yoshi if he's in Jurassic Park, lol. Literally, because he's animatronics. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, like, in fairness, pretty much nothing in the Mario Bros. Movie from '93 looks anything like its game appearances. It's not just Yoshi. Like, what the heck were the Goombas? Why was Bowser just a guy? I don't know, man. Like, there were definitely some questionable choices in that one. Again, I haven't seen it myself. And I hesitate to pass any judgment on it unless I've seen it myself. But, well, there are certainly some things that I've seen that kind of turn me away from it. Oh, I'm starting to see what I'm starting to pick up what you're putting down, J-Dog, about needing to press all the buttons in the stages. That's pretty cool. I don't know what that ends up doing for me, but I feel like that's going to be beneficial. So I'm going to continue doing it. Yoshi's still adorable even as a realistic dino. He even smiles. Okay, that is adorable. Still, it's no, like, it's no acceptable Yoshi design, but at least he's still cute sense. I guess that's a benefit. That's one of the plus things. That's one of the plus sides. How was I supposed to do this normally? Oh, that way. I see. Here. There we go. He wasn't just a guy, he was clearly a Koopa. Was he? Kinda just looked like a guy to me. I feel like I cheated getting that. Because I have Diddy Kong. I'm not always going to have Diddy Kong. Oh, I screwed up. Oh, now I really screwed up. What? Hang on. Wow, I really screwed it up. Fixed comment, wasn't treated like a sidekick, he was more treated like Mario's friend when it comes to marketing the characters, says Yoshi Daffy Duck. Yeah, very true. Get me over there! Yeah! Now don't screw this up, Jeff. What's up? I've been Rivals of Ether, says Vincent. I don't know what that is, but I hope you're having fun. Welcome to the stream, Vincent. Well, Jeff, it's been fun, but I'm off. Have a great week. Solar Flare, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed, friend. It seems like you have. I've enjoyed having you. I hope you have a good week. I hope your quad gets better. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. Rip Dennis Hopper, the actor who played Bowser, and Bob Hoskins, the actor who played Mario. Both of the actor was drunk when filming because the script was always changing. Oh my goodness. That's interesting, Chris. Also, yes, Rip. Oh no. Oh no. Well, that's scary. Oh, I don't like this. Alright, you know what? No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I like that. You know what? I like this level. It makes me think of Mario Galaxy. With the switching platforms, if you remember. Oh, this is especially cool. How do I get up there, though? Owies. Okay. I'm very clearly missing something here. What does your perspective on the chat look like? What does my perspective on the chat look like? Like, how do I see it? Like this. So I see my preview 16:9 games program PC screen. I see both of those. Like, it's kind of like I can make changes to the scene on the fly if I need to, and you won't see it until I commit the changes. Or like switch to the other scene. And then the chat is just over on the left side. That's what I see. Back to the action. Mickey Mouse. Why do you only make animal noises if you look human? Actually. Don't spoil for Jeff, lol. I'm not gonna watch that movie. Come on. That movie was wild. Near the end of the film, when where the Twin Towers transform and become decrepit and fall apart looking, my jaw genuinely dropped. Way too bad of a coincidence. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I am missing something. Oh, wait, hang on. I think I see it now. But how? Wait, hang on. What? How? What? What am I missing? That's definitely not what I'm missing. How do I get up there? Oops. Hey, Jeff, says Robert. Hey, Robert. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome to part... Man. 5. That's what it is. Part 5. There we go. Of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. How are you, friend? Okay, here we go. Ah, no, I stinkies. Welcome to part... Man. Yeah, welcome to part man. I wish we got a more HD view of the Yoshi designs in the 2023 movie. With the highest quality pics, they are just not high enough, says Moreno. Yeah, I wonder if that was done on purpose. Like if they're just trying to finalize the design and like make whatever small changes they still need to it before like fully implementing it into the 2026 movie? It is 2026, right? Next year? Isn't it also wild that 2026 is next year? I digress. I really hope that Yoshi plays a pretty significant role in the movie. Because I feel like if he doesn't, then... Well... I'll be disappointed at that point, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. That's why famous things aren't destroyed in movies anymore. Why is that? Sorry. That's why famous things aren't destroyed. Oh, yeah, the Twin Towers. Yeah. Robert says, I've been good. I've been playing a game called Super Hot recently. I am familiar with Super Hots. I only got to try it a little bit on my sister-in-law's MetaQuest VR headset, or MetaQuest 2? I forget which version it is. Huh. Oh, that was evil. What do you want, Jeff? The banana coin or the bananas? Banana coin. All day long, banana coin. I know I have like a bajillion of them. But I still want more of them. I can buy more squawks with banana coins. Wow. Is there anything over here? How am I doing on puzzle pieces? Only one left, and I think it's probably over here. Yeah! Look at that! I don't even need squawks. What am I talking about needing banana coins for? You know, I shouldn't jinx it. I've been needing squawks a lot. He'll have to make a significant role. Maybe it'll take influences from the theme park ride, which is very Yoshi's Island heavy. Yeah, I really don't know where they're gonna take Yoshi in this next movie. But I'm excited for it nonetheless. It'll also be interesting to see like what Yoshi's voice will sound like, if it'll just be like the video game clips, or if they'll actually give him a voice. Because there's the obvious examples, right, of like, you know, Super Mario World, the cartoon show, where, you know, Yoshi has a voice. He sure does have a voice. Don't worry, we'll get new movie Yoshi in 2026. I can't wait. The White House was already destroyed once, says Aurora. Yeah, like they just destroyed the White House in the new Captain America movie. Anybody see that, by the way? I haven't, but I've watched some clips on YouTube. I'm exhausted, says SKL. For you, yeah, it's like 5 a.m., right? So yeah, I understand that. Ow. How do I get on that? Jeff should watch that Mario movie because it has Yoshi in it. Lol, says Chris. Maybe I should. What's your opinion on fan games, says Vincent? I guess I don't really know. Like there's some good fan games and some not so good ones. Like I don't mind a well done fan game. Was I supposed to be able to get up there, by the way? Apparently. I don't mind a well done fan game. And there are certainly some well done fan games. I don't know, like fan games I feel like they have kind of a specific feel to them, I guess. Like, I don't really know how to describe it other than, like, it's the fan game feel. Like, you'll know a fan game when you play it, right? Not that that's a bad thing, necessarily. They're just not the same caliber normally as, like, you know, a regular game that they're based off of. Unless it's, like, a straight-up ROM hack or something. And it's not like you can really expect that. Like, fan games... Oh, man. I'm trying not to sound negative or anything, because, like, I think that there are some really cool fan games. There's one in particular that I was thinking of. It's, oh, what is it? It's Yoshi's Strange Adventure or Yoshi's Strange Quest or something like that. It's like a ROM hack of Super Mario World, but it creates an entirely new game where Yoshi is the playable character, and they give him, like, his regular moves of, like, the gobble move, but also of the egg throw. I don't remember if they, gave him his ground pound, but honestly, a lot of the Yoshi staples are there, and it's a very impressive fan game. I think I feel similarly to fan games that I do on indie games. There are some standout examples, for sure. But so many of them, I don't know, don't catch my eye as much. I'm not gonna say they're bad, because they're not. It's more just like, there's certain ones that catch my eye and certain ones that don't. I think that's my opinion on fan games. Donkey Kong. DK hate hammers. Hammers should be illegal. Especially on DK Island. Like, what are they even doing here? I think they know how iconic Yoshi's noises are. I bet he'll be a companion that's somewhat sentient, like the horse from Tangled. Still a non-talking animal, but is sentient enough to contribute. Sapient enough to contribute. Sorry. Yeah, that's certainly a good hypothesis, and I think that's valid, absolutely. Good comparison, by the way, to the horse in Tangled. I wouldn't have made that connection, but that absolutely makes sense now that you say it. And again, like you said, with his voices lines being so iconic, that probably is the way that, like, that's probably the safest way to go. The way that'll make the most people happy, or at least the least people upset. So yeah, that probably would be a good call. I wouldn't mind them trying to give Yoshi a voice. And like, Yoshi has had voices outside of the Super Mario World cartoon. And I've mentioned them a few times on stream. Like, I even mentioned it last time on stream. The Teribiko. There are 3 different Yoshis in that I'll just go ahead and call it a cartoon. It's not like strictly a cartoon, but essentially it is. Oh, are you kidding me? There are 3 different Yoshis with dedicated voice clips, and I think they all sound good in their own right. So, I think they could make it work if they really wanted to. There's even some, like, Japanese commercials that Yoshi has a voice. And, there's some hit and miss ones. Maybe I should bring up an example since I'm talking about Yoshi voices so much. When I get to a good stopping point, I will. But, again, just suffice to say, there have been instances where Yoshi has spoken and it didn't seem, like, completely out of place. There's the voice clip they used in Tetris Attack, for example. Like, it's only one voice clip, but it's like, you know how Yoshi says Nintendo in Yoshi's story at the title screen? Like, Nintendo! Like that sort of voice line? They did something similar in Tetris Attack where he kind of just, he says Nintendo, but it's much more like straightforward, like, Nintendo! Kind of just like a cutesy voice. Not even just like a Yoshi voice. The horse name is Maximus, if I remember correctly. Ooh, Yoshi's a Pokemon? I've heard that theory, for sure. Even though it's an elaborate crap post made for Vinny Vinesauce, Mario's Mystery Meat is genuinely one of the most impressive Mario World ROM hacks I've seen. I can't begin to explain it, says J-Dog. Now I need to hear that Tetris voice clip. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'll bring it up. Give me a sec. Yoshi voice clip Tetris Attack. I don't know if it's actually gonna... Oh, here we go. Here, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put a pause on Donkey Kong for a second. I'm gonna play it here. This is just on like a sound website, so... Oh, I have to download it? Okay. Did you hear that? Maybe if I bring it up on YouTube, it'll make more sense. Tetris Attack. Boot up. Let's see if... Yeah, here we go. Maybe that's... Oh, it's gonna have an ad. Hang on.
Good news. We have My Best Buy memberships for everyone.
Hey, good news.
See
They
how
have
you can
My
save
Best Buy
time.
memberships for everyone. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let me switch over to this for a second. I'm not already on it. Okay, ready? Oh, that's super quiet. Hang on. We're gonna turn that up. Here we go. That's still so quiet. But I think you can kind of hear it anyway. Let me, for good measure, let me also find a couple other ones. Oh, Yoshi just sounds like a human woman, lol. That's the interesting thing, Moreno. Just like Tails and Sonic the Hedgehog, like the various cartoon shows, video games, all that, usually I think Tails is voiced by a woman. Just because, like, the higher pitched sort of voice profile is kind of to be expected out of Tails. Similarly for Yoshi. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Super Mario World Teribiko. I've brought this up on stream before, but I would like to bring it up here as well. If I can find it. What in the heck? Super Mario World. Yeah, let's try that one. Did I spell it wrong? I did. Okay. Here, I'm gonna bring this up on the screen again. We're gonna try and go through this and find some Yoshi voice clips. Oh, also, this is very loud now. Okay, can you hear this alright? It sounds a little quiet. Let me know if I need to turn it up. We're gonna find a Yoshi voice clip. We're gonna go ahead and turn on the captions. Here's Yoshi. Hang on. It's kind of adorable, isn't it? See, like, he doesn't have to have an annoying voice. I think that's adorable, honestly. Then there's a yellow Yoshi. His poor arm gets broken. Again, just sounds like a normal Japanese woman. See, again, like, it just sounds like a normal Japanese woman, but it's adorable. Can you guys hear that, by the way? Oh yeah, I remember this console now that you'd brought this up. It's an educational console shaped like a telephone and has full motion video. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's a Japan exclusive thing. We're gonna go ahead and bring up the red Yoshi next. It's baby red Yoshi. It's so funny that the Paracoopas are called Pata Patas. And then, like, true to Mario World, it shows Yoshi just growing up after eating so many enemies. I love this. See, like, honestly, I wouldn't even mind it if Yoshi had a voice like that in the Mario movie. Like I said, I feel like JP says it fits well enough for Yoshi. I can only imagine an English dub. Yeah, right? The English dub is always worse. One more thing I want to show you guys. Just while we're talking about Yoshi voice clips, it's worth mentioning that he had voice clips in Japan exclusive commercials for some of the Nintendo games. Yoshi's Cookie, I think. Yeah, Yoshi's Cookie was one of them. Two of them, actually. And then one was... well, we'll find out here in a minute. Yoshi video game ads. I gotta find the compilation. Commercials. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and mute this on the stream side. No, you know what? No, we're just gonna roll with it. Okay. What screen am I on right now? Sorry. I don't usually do so heavy YouTube watching, but I feel like this current conversation kind of warrants it. So, I don't know if it's this one. Yeah, it is. Like, he speaks in this one. One second. So, that one was a little obnoxious, but not horrible. And Yoshi's Cookie. It's so cute. I love it. Man, Yoshi's just always so cute. And I don't know if that's supposed to be Yoshi saying that, but it's really cute. See, that one's probably the one that's like the most mellowed out one out of all these commercials, and probably the one I prefer. That part where he says it's also on the Game Boy. That one. See, I don't mind that. I think that would be a good voice for him. Just like a kind of normal voice, a little pitched up, but, you know, still kind of cutesy. And then there's this one, he gets all excited on stage. Again, just kind of sounds like a Japanese woman. So there you go. There's some Yoshi's voice clips for you. Choose whichever ones you want. I feel like there's some decent choices between the various voice clips we've gotten of Yoshi. I think we can find a pretty decent Yoshi voice. He also had an unused voice for Mario is Missing. It's awful. You should find it. It wasn't unused, I don't think. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yoshi voice, Mario is Missing. Okay. Ending with... Oh, it is unused. Oh, I didn't know it was unused. Let me see if this is the right one.
So, Luigi, you're looking for your brother. I can easily kidnap 2 plumbers as cheaply as 1.
Oh, jeez.
Bowser, I always suspected that underneath that macho shell you were just a boxer turtle. You'll never find it now. I threw it over that wall.
Was the only copy true.
Went across the world for me,
Alright.
and I won't forget it. Let's go now, bro. I'm dying for a piece of good old New York pizza.
Yo, welcome back, Mario.
And that's Yoshi.
We racked up tons of frequent globulator miles looking for you.
That's such a horrible voice. Do not go with that one. Choose any of the other ones we'd already looked at. Jesus, it has to be the PC version, lol, says Chris. Is it possible to mod a Wii U with an iPhone? I don't know, SKL. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone. Can you even get like an SD card reader for an iPhone? Like, SD card is something you absolutely need. I heard it sold well. Almost lost media, says Chris. Yeah, I wish that they would make like an entire cartoon show based on that style alone. I would take that. That ain't Luigi, it's Ouija. Yoshi sounds like Barney the dinosaur, but high-pitched and crunchy, says SKL. I don't exactly know what that means, but sure. Anyway, I guess the point is, like, I think there's ways that they can make the Yoshi voice, if they decide to go that route, I think that they can make it work. I don't know, what do you guys think of those Yoshi voices? Ah! Oh, give me. Well, it wasn't worth it. Did I already do this? I feel like I already did this. Could you read my Mario anime comment? Oh, I didn't do that yet. Okay, hang on. Stuff like the Mario World phone and the OG Japan Mario OVA proved to me that an accurate to the source material 90s anime would have been great, says J-Dog. Amen to that. Yoshi's sound in Yoshi's Island GBA version is the cutest in my opinion, says Chris. Though that is his voice clips from Yoshi's Story. Unless there are ones that... Unless there's ones I'm not remembering off the top of my head. I want Yoshi to be able to sing like Donkey Kong in the cartoon. Oh, man. Oh, man. That would be something. The fact that Donkey Kong actually had like a phenomenal singing voice in that cartoon, it's like... I don't really know how to feel about that. I always think of the one song that I've brought up a few times on stream, but like, there's so, like, okay. I always think of the one where he's singing about, like, wanting to know the secrets of the crystal coconut. But there's so many others, like, there's at least one song in every single Donkey Kong Country cartoon episode, and his singing voice is flat out phenomenal. And I don't know why. Like, why they did that, I have no idea. But I'm kind of glad they did. It's so funny. Like, he just breaks out into song just randomly. You can get on with this monkey business. It's like, why? Why is he so good at singing? I can't believe I gave the crystal coconut to a couple of the bad guys. Why they did not have to go that hard for Donkey Kong singing? That hurts me when it's just up and inactive. Why, fam? Why? All right. Meow. I might have been a little, Ah! I made it. DK has a beautiful voice, says Jacob. He does. Jeff, I actually did a cover of Nobody's Hero. It went so hard. I don't remember that song offhand. I don't know if anybody knows the DK cover of Nobody's Hero. It's magical. Will Yoshi ever have a hard mode in a Yoshi game, says SKL. I doubt it. Let me put it this way. Yoshi's series of games needs an overhaul for, like, its style, its... Maybe not style per se, but the Yoshi series definitely needs an overhaul as far as, like, who it's catering to, how many easy modes they have. I think the whole series just needs a new sort of perspective on it. And I think most of that comes from them deciding that the Yoshi games are for kids. It's like Jordan Fringe says in one of the Spawncasts, and I have this as a featured clip in my Something Needs to Change with the Yoshi series video whenever I make it. He goes, the Yoshi games are the only games that I know of that have two easy modes. They're like the base game's already easy, but hey, just in case you find that too hard, we're gonna make it even easier. You can't die. Like, there is definitely a difficulty problem with the Yoshi games, and I think that if that's ever going to change, something drastic needs to happen with the Yoshi games. I hope it'll change someday. I think that the Yoshi games lend themselves well to being one of those things where it's as difficult as you want it to be. Even like the original Yoshi's Island had a fantastic difficulty curve. As in, like, you could blast through the levels, get decently far without much challenge. Still gets decently hard at the end. World 6 levels are where it's at as far as difficulty. They're not, like, mind-blowingly difficult, but, you know, compared to the rest of the game, they certainly give you a decent challenge. You could go full completion. A lot of the game is more fulfilling and, you know, you get more of a challenge if you try to find everything. That's kind of what I mean. Like, it caters to... It already caters well to, like, your average mainstream non-completion type gamer. But it also appeals to the completionists. And I think that they should take full advantage of the fact that mellow mode is now an option and make the base game harder. They've kind of gone in the opposite direction where they made the base game easier and still added a mellow mode. I think that they need to go the opposite way. I think that Yoshi's Island was like the perfect level of challenge for a Yoshi game. I wouldn't want it to be any easier, and I wouldn't want it to be any harder in my ideal Yoshi game. Well, maybe a little harder, considering all of the quality of life changes we've gotten in recent Yoshi games. But Nintendo, or Goodfeel, implemented mellow mode, and I think that they're not taking advantage of that. They should have made Woolly World and Crafted World baseline harder, and like taking advantage of the fact that there's a mellow mode for people who can't take the heat. So, yeah. I think the tools are there. I think the ability is there, but I think it's mostly a mindset thing that really needs to change with the Yoshi series. Who is the game series developed for? Who are the Yoshi games for? And I think right now, if you were to ask that question to Goodfeel and Nintendo, they would tell you it's for the age group of kids like maybe 5 to 10. That's probably who their primary demographic is right now. And I think that if we want to see more difficult or even hard mode or baseline just harder Yoshi games, that mindset needs to change. Until then, we won't see a hard mode in a Yoshi game, I don't think. The closest you've got to it right now is the boss challenges and the secret boss fights. Completion rewards. Meant for the people that Nintendo knows are looking for more of a challenge. Or Nintendo Goodfeel, I guess. Like, Goodfeel is the developer of those games, not Nintendo. It's like they know that people over the age of 5 play these games. And they have stuff in there for them, but it's just hidden under collecting everything. But not everybody's interested in doing that. And that's where I think that the Yoshi's Island games, particularly Yoshi's Island, but Yoshi's Island DS also, and to some extent Yoshi's New Island, kind of excelled. Their difficulty curve is decent enough for an average non-completion gamer to get some fulfillment out of it, especially Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island DS got a little bit frustrating. Yoshi's New Island, the difficulty curve was a bit whiplashy, but still not bad. I think you're getting what I'm saying at this point. I think I'm just rambling now. Alright. Among Us 3D is coming. What's your opinions? I think it's a little sussy. I think that's a good description of it. Yeah, isn't that a VR game? Among Us VR? Is that what you're talking about, or is that something different? Have you seen Sonic Racing Cross World, says Robert. Only a little bit. I've only seen little tiny bits of it. Whoa! What is the what? I've unlocked the K level. What is this? What do I... Oh! I have to do this before I go to the boss. Well, I'm gonna go do the K level first. Among Us went 3D before Yoshi, says JP. Yeah. It's Among Us VR without the VR, so it's 3D. Whoa. You did a level without Squawk, says Aurora. I've done quite a few levels without squawks. I'm pretty proud of myself. I secretly want a Yoshi game with DKC 2 difficulty, but that's not gonna happen, says Chris. Yeah, if you want that sort of difficulty for a Yoshi game, look no further than the ROM hacks for Yoshi's Island. I'm sure you're aware, but I did a live stream series on Super Mario World 2 Plus, which is a ROM hack of Yoshi's Island. And I do want to do more ROM hacks, but that was basically Yoshi's Island with jacked up difficulty, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was like ideal difficulty for me. Oops. What you do? Fair point, says Chris. I wish that we didn't have to rely on ROM hacks for the difficulty that we so crave. But at the same time, like, the developers of the ROM hack are at liberty to make it as hard as they want it, because the kinds of people that are going to play a ROM hack like that are hardcore fans of the series. It's not going to be your average video game enjoyer who is playing this sort of game. Like, they know they can take advantage of people looking for more of a challenge, and so they make it more of a challenge. I don't think Nintendo is going to do that because they cater to the mainstream market. And again, with Yoshi now, the way he is right now, I think their primary demographic is 5 to 10-year-olds. And they're not going to want to alienate that core group of people who are buying Yoshi games. It just wouldn't be good business practice. I do think, like I said earlier, I do think that they can do more to make the Yoshi games for everyone, like they did with, like they did with Yoshi's Island. I think they absolutely can make it for everyone. Like, literally, the ESRB rating for Yoshi's Island is kids to adults. I don't know exactly what that means. Like, how is that different from everyone, you know? But it's specifically kids to adults. It was a game made to be enjoyed by a large swath of age group, or a large swath of age range, or whatever. I don't know how I'm trying to say that. A large age group. Yoshi's Island was specifically designed with that in mind. Yoshi's Island DS, I think, follows that same sort of mentality. Yet somewhere down the line, and I think I primarily blame Yoshi's story for this, they decided that the Yoshi games were made for children. I think it's because they learned the wrong lessons from Yoshi's Island. They thought, oh, people love it because it's coloring book. It looks like a coloring book. Meanwhile, most people loved it because, well, yeah, the aesthetic is unique, but they love it because it's a good game, not because it looks like a coloring book. Then Yoshi's Story, they leaned into it. They made it a pop-up book, which is inherently more appealing to children. Because of course it is. Who reads pop-up books? They are for children. I think that's where they really started to go off the rails and making the Yoshi games for children. The Yoshi games can certainly appeal to more people than just children. Take it from a grown man who plays Yoshi games and enjoys them. Boy, when I get on a ramble about the Yoshi games, I think you can tell, just in how I'm talking about it at this point, how passionate I am about the Yoshi games. It's not just Yoshi as a character that I like. I like his games and I want them to be more appealing to everyone, like they used to be. Like I know they still can be. I want the Yoshi series to be so much more than it is now. And I'm not sure how much of that comes down to just me being a fan of the game series, so of course I want it to do well. And how much of it is I see the potential and I know what it once was, how it appealed to more people than it does now, and I want it to go back to being that. what Yoshi games are now, I enjoy. I like them for what they are. But I think that it would be better if more people enjoyed them. I think that the games would be better if Nintendo and Goodfeel put more of an emphasis on them. Being for everyone would make them want to actively make them better. I think. So, yeah, I want Yoshi to be more. My copy of Yoshi's Story says EC, early childhood. Does it really? Hang on one sec, I gotta check this. Now, I was gonna say, I was grabbing my copy of Yoshi's Island as well, but unfortunately they don't have the ESRB rating on the box art itself. Wait, yes they do. Hang on. I just didn't see it. Hang on. I don't know if you'll even be able to see it. It's right there. It says K to A on it, so Yoshi's Island K to A. My copy of Yoshi's Story says E. Rated E for everyone. Yoshi's Crafted World. That's probably the other most childlike Yoshi game. Where is it? These always get so messed up. Yeah, this one is rated E for everyone. See, like, they say the Yoshi games are rated E for everyone, right? Yoshi's Island is the only one that I am aware of. Hang on, there's one more other outlier I want to check real quick. You know, even Yoshi's Island DS is rated E for everyone. So, like, Yoshi's Island is the only one that is rated something other than E. Or, I guess in Aurora's case, Yoshi's Story. Huh. Good night and have a good week, Jeff. Good night, Robert. Thank you very much for tuning in. Yoshi's Island, enjoyed by kids from 1 to 92. Everyone older than that, get out. Has Justin kept his streak, or is he back to square one? Yeah, he's kept his streak. He was here earlier. Yoshi series could benefit from Kirby's approach, says JP. Yeah, I think so too. I mentioned this game idea before, and I'll mention it again. For the Switch 2, Yoshi's Sock Puppet World! Jacob, please don't do this to me. Oh, no, that is funny, though. Pretty sure Kids to Adult was the original name before they replaced it to everybody. Really? Maybe. ESRB rating Kid to Adult. Let me try typing in KA. KA was the original rating for games that the Entertainment Software Ratings Board ESRB deemed suitable for all ages. In 1998, the KA rating was changed to E for everyone. You're right, Chris. I never knew that. Thank you. That's good to know. Yoshi's Story rated T for Yoshi Trauma. I thought it was labeled AO for seconds. Like some troll put that label. Oh wait, hang on. I need to go back to my gameplay camera. Whoops. I own a copy of Yoshi's Woolly World that's rated R. I'm not kidding, says Uskale. How did that happen? My thought is somebody bootlegged some artwork. Yep. Honestly, out of all the K levels so far, I think this one's probably the most tame. Like, yeah, you can go for all these banana coins, but you don't need to. Some of these timings are a little tight, but it's honestly extremely manageable. Especially when I have Diddy Kong. Boink. Yeah, I think Diddy Kong is really what makes this level easy. And like, they give him to you right at the beginning of the level. So it's like, if you don't have Diddy Kong, that's your fault. Alright. I do want to focus, though, because I forget... Oh, there it is. Puzzle piece. Yep. Whatever. I got hit. That's alright. I have a couple hits. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Yeah, Diddy Kong makes this level a joke. I don't know why they gave me Diddy Kong. Whoops. Did you know that this Sega CD game called House Trap was so controversial that it's one of the factors that caused the creation of the modern ESRB rating system? No, I didn't. That's interesting. Get pranked. I don't own a copy that's rated R. That's stupid. SKL, you said that you weren't joking. Therefore, you are lying. Night Trap, J-Dog? That sounds familiar, actually. Now that you say that, I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's a misprint. I could never find any information about Yoshi's story having an EC rating, says Aurora. Yeah, probably. Because my copy definitely says E. So there you go. Getting back to that, all of the Yoshi games are rated E for everyone. I was mistaken. Thank you, Chris, for the correction. I didn't realize K to A was the predecessor to the modern ESRB rating of E for everyone. That makes sense, though. Still, rated E for everyone, I feel like even though it's meant for everyone, as the name would imply, it still has the sort of connotation, or like, I don't know about connotation, but reputation or stigma, stereotype of being just child friendly. And if it's made to be child friendly, then clearly it's made for children, don't you know? I don't know. Is that unfounded? I feel like it probably is. Like, does E mean kids game? I've heard that debate before. I've thought about that debate before. Does the rating E in a video game context mean made for children? Or kids game? What does it mean to be a kids game? Exactly, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. After all, I'm a teen on the internet, says SKL. No, there's nothing anyone can do to stop you from being a pathological liar on Livestream, but it will ruin my trust. So there you go. I don't know if they will add the baby mechanic. It would be nice if they did with the baby ability, says Vincent. I would like a Yoshi game without the baby abilities. In fact, I mean, obviously we have more Yoshi games than not that do not have Baby Mario riding on Yoshi's back at this point. But I do think that a Yoshi's Island style game without Baby Mario, and again, I stress, Yoshi's Woolly World is a game in that sort of caliber. I suppose it would be the best way to put it, but like, I want a Yoshi's Island game without Baby Mario. I don't think a Yoshi's Island game necessarily needs Baby Mario. What is what? Excuse me? Excuse me? What is this? What am I playing right now? Also, this barrel blast music is different. What is this? What am I doing? Where am I going? I wanna know! Can you show me? Am I going to the moon? It's the man in the moon. No, it's just a crater. I'm being silly. Bananas! Banana. Where does that take me? Oh, that probably takes me to the boss, doesn't it? Yep, okay. I thought that was like an extra thing for a second, and then I remembered I need it to get to the boss. Octobot says, I don't know how it works for the ESRB as I'm not in a country that uses it, but I feel like most Mario games would have an E rating, and I would say they have a relatively universal appeal. Yeah, I agree. Also, welcome to the stream, Octobot. I agree. But yeah, like I was kind of asking, does E mean that it's a kid's game? And what does it mean to be a kid's game? Early childhood is for kids games actually, but like AO, it's a rare category. Yeah, when it's EC for early childhood, that specifically is for like Thomas the Tank Engine's puzzles or whatever. Like that's an early childhood game. But like you hear people say like Mario, Yoshi, Kirby, these are kids games. Does that mean that they're not supposed to be enjoyed by adults? I don't know. I guess I have a bigger problem with the terminology kids game. I think that's more my problem. Huh. What's the stigma for E10? I feel like there's not much of a stigma for E10. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. Could you read my new Night Trap comment? For context. Yeah, one sec. J-Dog says, there's a scene where one of the women get attacked by one of the villains while in the bathroom. The scene was so controversial that it caused the rating system to be put in place, since it was kind of out of nowhere, says J-Dog. I feel like I remember that story. An E10 Plus game was created because of Kirby games. That's a fun fact for you. Really? Cuphead is E10. Interesting. Made because of Kirby? What in Kirby tells you that... what in Kirby told the ESRB that it had to have a whole separate age designation? Well, we can't have this rated T for teen, but there's enough cartoon violence in it. I'm a little confused. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Is it... Oh. Okay. Hey, Jeff, I'm gonna head out. Catch you later. Catch you later, Jacob. Thank you very much for tuning in. Probably the final boss of Dreamland 3. Oh, there you go. Mario Odyssey is E10 and up? Is it really? Where's my... There it is. Ah. You're right. It is. I don't know if you can see it in the face cam, but it is. It's E10 and up. Very interesting. I always thought that 10 plus was just because of cartoon violence, says Aurora. I think you're probably right. It contains some disturbing bosses for kids, I think. Fair enough. This world's Tiki boss is my favorite since he's an accordion. I like accordions, says J-Dog. Accordions are pretty pleasant. Ow. Wow, I suck. Kirby does love its creepy final bosses. Dreamland 3 has the Dark Matter Eyeball. I heard they got away with it because most kids wouldn't actually 100% it to reach it. Interesting. How would Jeff react if the next Yoshi game was E10 and up? I'd probably be pretty happy, honestly. If it was E10 and up, that would signify... Oh. If it was E10 and up, that would signify a good change of pace for Yoshi. A more promising change in direction, in other words. Oh. Oh. Okay. So that's one hit. I love this chicken. He's so funny. Is volatile upgrade discontinued? Asks SKL. Not necessarily. It's more just that... Well, I mean, okay. It's a dead channel. We have no plans to revive it. And in fact, the next video that I put on the channel in the next few weeks, depending on one last person I still need some input on, I need some input from, there's one last video I'm putting on the channel, and it is the saying goodbye to volatile upgrade video. And again, like I said in the last stream, I'm splitting it into multiple videos just because it's so darn long. But yeah, no, we are not reviving the channel. It's not going to have more content. It's done, pretty much. And yeah, I feel like a little sad about that. I put a significant amount of time into that channel. I mean, I made 600 videos, basically. Almost 600. Okay, I'm back, I think. Remember when Smash Bros. Used to be rated T for teen? Yes, I do. Wasn't it Melee that was the first one that was rated T for teen? Teen racing is for racing games or visual novel with heavy story like Phoenix Wright. Interesting. I'm learning more about ESRB stuff. Huh. Pretty funny that I know more about ESRB even though I'm not an American, says Chris. That is really funny. Vincent says, I'm planning to make a creepy final boss myself. I don't plan for kids to play my indie game. Yeah, more power to you, Vincent. You do what you want. Oh, no. I probably should try at least a little bit harder to pay attention. And I beat him. Bro, I just beat up a regular chicken. Sure, he was in a robot costume, but then I, like, broke the glass and just punched the chicken. Like, geez, DK, at least pick on someone your own size, right? That's so funny. Yay! I actually do have a copy of Smash That's for Teens. This time I'm serious, says SKL. Yeah, I believe Smash Bros. Brawl and Smash Bros. Melee were rated T for teen. And I think those are the only ones that were. Could be wrong, but I think that's correct. Most sports games fall into E, so no, I don't think they're just for kids. They're just kids games. Maybe it's just like a stereotype that I've allowed myself to sort of take on for E-rated games. I don't know. M is for mature people who know what beer is, and it contains some gore such as GTA games and The Last of Us. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Alright, here we are at the volcano. Let's at least do a level or two here. I feel like we're 2.5 hours in. I feel like I can go a little bit longer. Some Mickey Mouse and most Looney Tunes cartoons were switched from TVG to TVPG. This is Yoshi Daffy Duck. Yeah, they like to try and sneak some jokes in there nowadays, I think. And like, the slapstick comedy also has made its way into so many of these kids' cartoons. Yeah. Oh. Why are there trees at the volcano? Is this like a new volcano? Oh, wait, didn't the volcano like freshly erupt in the beginning of the game? I don't remember. That must be what it is, because like there's way too much foliage here for it to be like a purely active volcano. Right? Am I thinking about that right? Uh-oh. I don't know what I was trying to accomplish with that barrel throw. Oh, there's a wall there, Jeff. Yep, there certainly is. SKL says, is it just me, or is the PlayStation slowly being forgotten? I don't know. Considering that it's crossed, what, 75 million consoles for the PlayStation 5? I think forgotten isn't exactly the word I would use. But do you mean like PlayStation game IPs? Because for non-Nintendo video games, I feel like PlayStation is still the preferred platform. Yeah, says SKL. As far as like their first-party IPs, yeah. Yeah, I feel like they're becoming less and less reliant on... No. It's not that they're being less reliant on their first-party IPs. Like, they don't put out games like Ratchet and Clank. Well, you know what? No, they do still put out Ratchet and Clank. The only ones that I know of, or that I can think of, that they've truly lost, like, Spyro the Dragon was once a PlayStation exclusive. Crash Bandicoot was once a PlayStation exclusive. Those are now third-party, both owned by Activision, I believe. Ratchet and Clank is active, still developed by Insomniac? Yeah, Insomniac. So those are still going on. Sly Cooper is one that I would say has been forgotten. Parappa the Rappa. Jak and Daxter. That's a big one. Uncharted, I feel like, isn't really forgotten, but it's one that I don't think they have any current or future plans on. At the time, at this time anyway. What other Sony IPs haven't we seen in a while? I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Uncharted, Sly Cooper, and wait a minute. Hang on. There was stuff over to the right. I needed to go over there first. Those are the ones that I can really think of. Oh yeah, Parappa the Rappa. Those are the ones I can think of that have been forgotten. Infamous? Does that count? Infamous only had 2 games, as far as I know. Oh. Point of view. You buy a game from Ubisoft. Would you like to connect to Uplay? No. Jeff, I 100% know that if you replay World 6 of Tropical Freeze after playing this game, it'll hit so much harder. Still love the whole stage based on world from previous game, but now frozen over gimmick, says J-Dog. That's fair. Hey, Jeff, what's going on, DV? Welcome to the stream. Like, you played an entire game based on the island, and now witnessing those worlds you went through struggling against the frigid new climate is so cool. That is cool. If you do an April Fool's stream, would you play Mario Drinks a Glass of Milk series? Says Vincent. I will not be tuning into anything on the internet on April Fool's, at least as far as I can help it. So no, I will not be streaming, and no, I will not be streaming Mario Drinks a Glass of Milk. I did watch a little bit of that video that Aurora posted in the Discord, though. So now I'm at least familiar with the fact that somebody did indeed make a game called Mario Drinks a Glass of Milk. I don't know what possessed them to do such an atrocity, but something did. And the fact that it's like Mega Man themed is the icing on the cake. That's so funny to me. Like when the Mega Man boss would normally show up, it's just a little, like a pint of milk. Like a glass jug of milk. That's so funny to me. Wario counts as cash wads. Oh, yeah. On April Fool's, he'd probably change himself to the Kamek Fanatic or something, says JP. Or the Birdo Fanatic. How about the Birdo Fanatic? Do not go on my channel on April 1st, because I have something stored. Yeah, no, I do not plan on watching any YouTube on April Fool's. I will be doing my best to avoid anything internet on April Fool's. However, I am thinking about taking the day off of work on April 2nd to stream the Direct. Or even like take a half day, go in late to the office at like noon or something. Just say I have prior engagements that need my attention and stream the April 2nd Direct. I have seriously been considering that. I have plenty of PTO. Thinking about just calling in on that day. The sequels have actual gameplay and aren't about drinking milk. Really? Who was asking for a sequel to Mario Drinks Milk? So funny. Oh, that's just an extra life. I killed myself for an extra life. I feel like that should have worked, by the way. Okay. Wow! Oh, I thought that was gonna be like a chase section. Hang on. Personally, I'm waiting for Mario to drink juice. Yeah, there you go. Oh, no meme stream, says Vincent. Yeah, sorry to disappoint. I don't do April Fools. Did you know that Nintendo's gonna release a trailer for DK Country 6 on April 1st? Yeah, and then just say, yeah, lol. You funny. You expected a new Donkey Kong game. That's funny. And you'll know what AO is, a rating category that even M rating can't handle. Yeah, that's intense, Chris. Alright, let's see what we got here. Collapsing platforms makes sense. I don't know why they're trying to entice me with a single banana. Jeff, I know you're not into it, but the Pokemon Direct of Pokemon Day is happening next week, and I'm so pumped. Arg's so pumped. Yay! I'm disappointed. Well, maybe not super disappointed. I'm whelmed. I was kind of giving in to the idea that Nintendo was going to have a general Switch presentation, or a general Switch Direct for the current Switch and any games that we might be anticipating on it in the next however long, despite the fact the Switch 2 is coming. Well, I am not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed that it's Pokemon. I know many people are not in the same camp, but I've never played a Pokemon game in my life. I have no interest in Pokemon. I'm planning to go to sleep, says SKL. You do what you need to do, fam. Like I've said before, I know you're way ahead of us in terms of time here. For you, it's like 6 a.m. at this point. At least if I'm remembering your time zone correctly. So yeah. I definitely encourage you, go get your sleep that you need, friend. Oh no. I want some new Mega Man, says Vincent. The last Mega Man game was Mega Man 11, yes? Did you play that one? I did. That came out, what, like 2018, 2019? I really don't think there's much left for the Switch one, first party wise. Maybe some more ports at most, says DV. Yeah, depending on what the ports would be, that might warrant a direct. But you're right, like, there's probably not enough at this point that Nintendo has to show that is like, yeah, we need a direct for the Switch. And I think that it was a little silly of me to get my hopes up for a Switch Direct, considering that fact. But I was hoping. Yeah. Not one. No, I'm just messing, Wolves. Yeah, no, I have not played a single Pokemon game. I actually was not allowed to play Pokemon when I was growing up. And thus, I developed no interest in doing so. I was not the rebellious sort that, when told, no, you can't do something, that made me want to do it all the more. That's not me. Oh, that could be bad. I don't know. It worked out. Blankety. Oh, okay, that almost worked. Ah! Do I want to go up here? I mean, I'm going up here. Should I be? I thought maybe if I collected everything, there would be a puzzle piece. You know what's funny is I've gotten all these puzzle pieces, and I still haven't looked at any of the art. I guess I'm saving it for the end here. Ouch. Were you not allowed to watch The Simpsons? No, I was not. I was not allowed to watch The Simpsons. Though it doesn't help that we didn't have TV growing up. Okay, that's not entirely true. We had 3 channels growing up. We had channel 2, 4, and 7. That was it. It was like NBC, ABC, and CBS. That's all we had growing up. We did not have Nickelodeon. We did not have Cartoon Network. We did not have the Disney Channel. Heck, we didn't even have Fox, which at least had the Fox box for like Ninja Turtles and Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. Nope. NBC, ABC, and CBS. Or is it NBC or NBC? I think it was NBC. Those are the only channels we had growing up. So let's just say that my ability to watch many of these shows like Family Guy, Simpsons, severely limited. Not just in my parents being strict, but the show's just not being available for me to watch. Let me guess, you were not allowed to play Pokemon because of so-called satanic stuff, says DV. You are correct. My mother is definitely one of those who thought that Pokemon was evil in some way. There's a popular theory of you know, the Pokemon cartoon theme song having like oh, what's it called when what's it called? I forget. When like you play a song backwards and it has like another message to it. What's that called? I think you know what I'm talking about. But like it's especially popular for like religious parents especially to think that the Pokemon song, the Gotta Catch 'Em All theme from the cartoon show, has that sort of message or something like that. That's so dumb. The whole rewind message thing, lol, says J to the P Moreno. It does seem a little silly when you think about it. I remember hearing a lot of religious freakouts over 90s over various pieces of media, says DV. Yeah, and it wasn't just Pokemon. It was also Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! These things I wasn't allowed to partake in. And I'll be honest, as a kid, I wasn't the kind like, but Mom! I was the kind that was like, no, alright. Like, I've got plenty of other things to enjoy, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't really my thing anyway. I am a Ninja Turtles person. I really like Ninja Turtles. So as long as I was allowed to watch that, I was content. Don't forget Harry Potter. Yep, wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter either. Don't have any interest in that either. Yep. Owies. Back then I felt like anime was for the cool kids and I felt so left out, says Blues Cat. I feel like anime was also more niche back then. Now it's a lot more mainstream. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Could you check my world transition comment above? Give me 1 second. Yeah! Owies. Oh, I forget that you can't jump up through these platforms. Oh, that makes this so much harder. Can someone like... Ah! Ah! I don't know which way these are going. Okay. When I'm not in utter peril, I'll catch up on some comments. Oh. Oh no, that was a mistake. But I still made it. Ah! Okay. Oh. Oh, I got everything. Hey! Let me guess, you couldn't play Doom. I couldn't play M-rated games. Because guess what? M-rated games are for 17 and up. My mom definitely made sure that I didn't play M-rated games. J-Dog says, I love the world transition in this game. The world transitions in this game. In 7.1, you see the cliffs change into the factory and the smog, And in this world, if you notice at the beginning of the stage, you exited the factory. That is really cool. SKL asks for me to read his comment as well. I was sleeping till I was startled to death by a dream, and now I'm fully awake, so I may as well come back. Alright, welcome back, Dave. Welcome back, SKL. I've been thinking that I make a video where I review every One Piece episodes on April Fools, and the video is just my empty room for an hour. Pretty sure Jeff didn't even know what Doom is. My Doom was Jurassic Park on the Super Nintendo. With the indoor sections. Now get out there and give those little drum guys what for. Yes, I said what for. I'm old. Get over it. Doom came out in 1993, while ESRB didn't come out till 94. Whoa, that's something funny to think about. I love Doom. The modding community make that game replayable, says Chris. Yeah, and it helps that it's still like a supported franchise at this point. And I also shouting "No!" at the end of the video. I wonder how many people would actually see that. But that's a funny idea. Honestly, I think that's pretty creative. I think we have time for one more level. You know, speaking of games that I played as a kid, and my mom found out things about and didn't let me play them anymore. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow, Turok Dinosaur Hunter made it into my Nintendo 64 collection. I played a decent amount of that, and then my mom noticed that it was very bloody. So she stopped letting me play it. And then, like, I wasn't so attached to the game that I was like, "But Mom!" So, you know, no harm, no foul, I guess. The one that really hurt was Majora's Mask. She really did not like the dark themes in Majora's Mask. So, yeah, I wasn't allowed to play Majora's Mask until quite a bit later. Well, actually, it was my first Zelda game. I played it a decent amount, but then my mom noticed the themes, and then it was taken away. I think she gave it away. And then I didn't play it again later, or until later in like college. So, yeah, that's one example, I guess, where it's like, you know. Though in fairness, Majora's Mask is probably the darkest, or at the very least the second darkest Zelda game. It's understandable why she didn't like those themes. Are you wrapping up the stream soon? Yes, SKL, I am. I'm just finishing up this last level. Because I am pretty tired as well. That's a dumb reason, says DV. I am glad that I went back and replayed it. I don't blame my mom for that sort of thing. You know, our family is very religious, and I know she was trying to be protective of her kids. I can't blame her for that, especially now that I have my own kids and I understand what that's like. I don't blame her for it. I don't hold it against her, any of that. Was she a little overprotective? Yeah, probably. But I know that she did it just because she cared about me, wanted to protect me from stuff that she thought would be a bad influence. I get that. And again, I am not upset about it. There is such a thing as being overly sheltered, and I do think that I probably was that. But, I don't know. I felt like I still had a good enough childhood and a fulfilling enough childhood where, yeah, being able to see those things probably would have made a difference in my life, but it's not like not seeing those things ruined my life. Does that make sense? I never knew what B. Damon or Yu-Gi-Oh was when I was younger, says Blues Cat. I just knew I wasn't allowed to watch Yu-Gi-Oh. Honestly, I would let my kids play it around 10 just because I love the game, says Vincent. I probably would also let my kids play Majora's Mask. Maybe I would wait until they were a little bit older, but I don't know. I have a little while to go before I have to worry about that, really. Right now, my son is into Astrobot. and I am perfectly happy with that. Don't be a helicopter parents if I say so myself, says Chris. It really is difficult to strike that balance. I think, anyway. And again, now that I'm a parent, I'm more sympathetic to just how delicate a balance that really is. I shudder to think about where all the puzzle pieces are going to be here. This is quite precarious. One here probably? Nope. Okay. Whoa. I always did like these rocket barrel levels. I know some people have some gripes with them, and I do understand the gripes. I do. But man, I really enjoy them. Especially now that I feel like I've got a little bit more coordination and patience as a gamer than I ever used to. Especially patience. Did you have any past channel icons before your present one? As in on the Yoshi Fanatic? No. Actually, I've had this one since 2016. I've thought about getting it redone, but I'm really attached to this one. I really love it. I had one of my friends in college, or one of my classmates in college, make it for me, and I just love it. That said, I'm open to redoing it, but, you know, I don't know. It would have to be something special if it were to replace this, I think. Oops. If your mother saw you play Epic Mickey back then. Yeah, right? Epic Mickey was something else. When did Epic Mickey come out again? Like 2008? When did Epic Mickey come out? Because I do remember playing Epic Mickey as I think I was a teenager at the time, which is kind of when my mom was like, you know, backing off a little bit and letting me decide what sorts of content I wanted to consume. 2010, okay. So I was 16 when Epic Mickey came out. And that's about the time when my mom was like more accepting of the idea of me playing Zelda games, and because keep in mind, she didn't think that Zelda games were something that she wanted us to partake in because her first experience was Majora's Mask. And I'll be honest, I can't really blame her for that. But she was getting to be more accepting and more like allowing of me to play those games at that point. So Epic Mickey, I do remember playing that in my teenage years. I think a lot of people just do not like any change in gameplay style that deviates from the main one, says Aurora. Sorry, I must be missing some context. I am going to continue to try and beat this level. Really showing some great skills there. I'm glad I can be known as the guy who likes Ren and Stimpy a lot at school. Like, no one really says anything, at least it's nothing controversial. Ren and Stimpy is cool. And accepted, it seems, and I'm okay with that. Or it says Rocket Barrel. Oh, hang on. I gotta go back and read that. I think a lot of people just do not like any change in gameplay style that deviates from the main one. That's interesting. That's interesting. I think that, I think I talked about this sort of thing in my Spyro the Dragon, or Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon playthrough. I think that changing up the gameplay too much is not a great thing. Well, okay. I shouldn't say too much because I mean too often. I think Spyro 3 had the problem where, and Crash 3 as well, I think that those games had the problem where, you know, they were the third game in their series. the gameplay was pretty established at that point. They wanted to mix it up. And like the second game in each of their respective series simply took what made the original games great and kind of expanded on like the main move set to the point where the gameplay was spiced up but still what people loved. Spyro 3 added what I affectionately called Spyro's stupid friends, which like most of them were fine, but like I'm playing a Spyro game to play as Spyro, right? Like I'm okay with the skateboarding levels. I'm okay with, you know, helping Hunter fly a UFO around every once in a while. But I don't want to play as Sheila or the Abominable Snowman or whatever. Or like it felt like almost every single level there was something non-Spyro that you had to do. I think that's taking it overboard. Crash Bandicoot, same kind of thing. They added so many new mechanics and power-ups that it's like the gameplay is not quite unrecognizable, but it's a far cry from what it was in 2 and 1, for example. I don't think that the Rocket Barrel has that same problem. There are a lot of Rocket Barrel levels in this game, to be fair, and one entire world is dedicated to them. Well, them and the minecart levels. But I don't think that the way that these are implemented is a problem. If people are complaining too much about the Rocket Barrel, I think what people don't like about the Rocket Barrel levels is like the mechanic itself is a little bit finicky. Like you kind of have to, you know, press the button like over and over to keep yourself going at a steady clip, and that's kind of annoying to most people. How did I miss one? What did I miss? Alright, well, you know, we're playing the level again. No, I think it's a sizable portion of people that really do not like any change that deviates from core gameplay, ever. Interesting. Well, it's hard for me, I guess it's hard for me to get in, like, the heads of mainstream gamers, I guess. Because, like, I've always been very into video games, not just as, like, a passing thing. Like, it's, like, my main hobby. It's always been, like, my main hobby. So, I guess it's hard for me to get in the heads of people who play video games just as a passing thing. Or, like, you know, I don't know. When I say mainstream gamer, I guess I mean, like, what do I mean by that? It's hard to explain. It's like the group of people that play video games and don't like that sorts of change. Oh, I forgot to get squawks. And don't like that sorts of change. I say that that's like the mainstream or the blue ocean crowd. The people that don't actively follow video games but like know what they like sort of thing. I don't know. I'm currently playing Yoshi's Island DS, the hard level with the rising lava. Hearing the Rocket Barrel theme in this stream as I'm playing is very fitting. Are you playing world or level 1 extra? Or sorry, 1 secret? I commend you for somehow getting everything in that level. I almost did. I didn't quite. It's the world 1 secret. Oh, yeah. No, it took a long time for me to get everything in that level. That level was hard. The secret and extra levels in Yoshi's Island DS are just another level, dude. Like, I feel like Yoshi's Island DS was already pretty difficult to, especially for completionists. But even if you're just trying to get through the game, like, it's more difficult than the average Yoshi game. They took it a step further with the secret and extra levels. Absolutely. And in one way I appreciate that, but in another way I think they went a little overboard. I know you can't just you can't think just by looking at my comment, but my humors are over the top absurd. Sorry, I didn't read them. Oh. No, I don't think so. Like, I think I enjoy your sense of humor. Yoshi's DS extra levels difficulty Ghosts and Goblins, says Vincent. Yeah, and I can proudly say I 100% completed all of them at this point. I did end up going back and 100% completing Yoshi's Island DS a few years after the fact. But I ended up going back and doing it. Imagine Yoshi singing the same songs Jeff sings. Oh boy. Like, having Yoshi sing Skillet songs. How would that even happen? Like, I imagine a squeaky voice, or a kind of a squeaky, kind of high-pitched voice, like up the octave sorts of songs. But I don't know how that would sound, and if I try to make like an impression of what I think that would sound like, I think that would just be embarrassing. They see it as padding, only done because they think it's easier to make by the developers. I would think that they would be wrong. I mean, like, the easier thing to do would be make more of the same. Isn't it more difficult to make an entire new game mechanic? I would think so. Like I said, I think I can appreciate it when a game has some variation in here to, like, keep it from getting stale. But if it goes over the top, like Spyro 3 did. Or you can make the argument Sonic Adventure 2, where you don't have to, but in order to, like, get the full experience out of the game, you have to play as all Sonic's stupid friends. Like, there are times when it can be overboard. I do hate how people think Dark Souls is the only hard game because Ghosts and Goblins and Ninja Gaiden is way harder, says Vincent. Yeah, I can't really speak to that. I haven't played any of those. I have been interested in the Ninja Gaiden games, though, especially ever since I bought and played The Messenger. Has anyone here ever played the indie game The Messenger? It's like Ninja Gaiden, especially for the, well, it's like a more tame version of Ninja Gaiden, I would say. For the first, like, maybe couple hours of the game. And then, a couple hours in, it turns into a Metroidvania. With the same game mechanics, like, it's not like it turns into a Metroid game all of a sudden. But, like, the world opens up, and you start to unlock abilities that let you unlock other abilities and power-ups and stuff. It's honestly a really cool idea, and I very much enjoyed it. It also had a very dry humor that I enjoyed. I can't stress this enough, but I like the Donkey Kong death sounds. Somebody put Donkey Kong death sound into every video game I can think of. JP says, I don't always try to get everything, but it's hard not to at least try, says Moreno. Yeah, I mean, in a Yoshi game, I feel like, especially if you're over the age of 10, I feel like that's how you're going to get the most enjoyment out of a Yoshi game. Because they're kind of, as I kind of stated before, they're kind of designed with, like, beginners and completionists in mind, but especially nowadays, nobody in between. So, I think that's why I have a hard time, like, that's one of the ways that I have a hard time of getting into other people's heads as to what they might think about the Yoshi games, if they are not a completionist or a beginner. And, like, I'm not a beginner, but, you know, especially now that I have a son who is actively playing video games at the age of 5, he has a certain ceiling of what he can and cannot do. At least I can understand more about, at least I can understand that sort of angle more. But as far as, like, playing a Yoshi game and not trying to get everything, I'm thinking, well, if you're not trying to go for everything in the level, I can understand why you don't like it. Like, the people who have, like, heavy critiques of the Yoshi games. His ooh is just goofy. I love it. I could see why someone would think that a minecart level or a Rocket Bear level is easier to make because they're linear, auto-scrolling, and have simplified gameplay. I guess that's a fair point, but, like, you know, the developer still has to, you know, program the mechanics and come up with the ideas that deviate from a normal level. Like, there's more that goes into it than just, like, it's linear and auto-scrolling. And I get you're not saying that, you're just saying you can see where people are coming from, but, yeah. As a gamer who, you know, kind of knows this sort of industry a little bit, like, from an outsider's perspective, I guess. I don't actively develop games or anything like that, but I kind of understand how things work. So from my perspective, that seems silly, but, you know, I guess I can understand why someone might think that, now that you say it like that. Just beat secret level 1, somehow got all 5 flowers. Very nice. Oh, this is hard. Why am I having such a hard time? I will warn you, the Ninja Gaiden 1, if you die on the final boss, it won't refill your health during the next phases. Woo! Very evil for them to sneak 1 red coin on a fly guy at the end. Yeah, I think you were probably there when I was streaming it. And I got to the end. I didn't have any eggs. No, that's not what happened. I got to the end. I had like 29 out of 30 hit points left. And I tried to hit the Shy Guy with a red egg and it just didn't work. That's what happened to me at the very end. Maybe I need to focus here. Maybe that's what I need to do. Because this ain't... It's hard. But like, I can do it. I've done it already. By the way, out of the 2 antagonists, do you like the Tiki tribes more or Vikings from Tropical Freeze? I definitely like the Vikings from the Tropical Freeze more. I just think that they have more personality. I was never a huge fan of the Tiki tribe. I don't hate them, but out of all the Donkey Kong villains that there have been, I think they're the least interesting to me. Oof. Jeff, do gives rivals of a... What are you even talking about? Can you try reposting the question? I can't understand that. My review of the new Fortnite chapter, 0 out of 10. It has no Yoshi, says Yoshi Daffy Duck. Dude, remember when Nintendo was like trying to work out a deal to have Samus in Fortnite, but they were only going to allow it if it was like exclusive to the Nintendo platform? Does anybody remember that? I don't need the K, I already got it. At this point, you know, I feel like I'm doing the difficult route here. Oh wait. No. Yeah, that was still the difficult route. That was still a more difficult way to go. Why did I go for that? I didn't need to. Alright, Squawks, what am I missing? Boy, I have lost so many lives on this level. Don't need to go for any of those. That's fine. Well, good to see I haven't missed anything so far. Probably. Whoa, that was close. Huh? What? What? Excuse me? How? What? My bad. I was saying, Jeff, do give Rivals of Ether a shot. The workshop characters are a lot of fun. Oh, okay. Rivals of Ether. I shall consider it. Was it that you couldn't pick Samus, or if you weren't on Switch, or that you couldn't see players using Samus either? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I assume Nintendo probably would have wanted it so that only people playing on the Nintendo Switch version would be in lobbies with people who were playing as Samus. Like unless you were playing on Nintendo, you couldn't see Samus at all. You can play as the McDonald's clown. Why? Oh, in Rivals of Ether. Okay, that's something. Fortnite has pretty tasteful crossovers, says Blues Cat. Yeah, it does. I do wish that Samus / Metroid crossover would have worked out. Like, honestly, Metroid could use all the publicity it can get. Though I suppose then if they did that, then people might ask, you know, why isn't this on other consoles? Where is it? What? Make Samus Switch purchase only? It seems like Fortnite didn't, or the Epic Games didn't really like that idea either way. How am I supposed to get this? Want me to tell you where the puzzle piece is? Yeah, actually, that would be nice. You could be my squawks. I think you gotta get all the bananas in that row. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Yep. You're right. I don't know if I even saw the bananas down there, to be honest. Thank you, DV. And I'm sure you would have told me the same thing, Chris, so thank you, too. Wow, I've almost maxed out on banana coins again. Oh! Well, there you go. There's a good chance Willy Wonka can come to Fortnite, says Blues Cat. At this point, it seems like anything's fair game. We're never going to get a big Yoshi costume in Fall Guys. Nope. Nintendo doesn't like to play nice with others. So how many levels do we have left here? 3, 4, 5, and then the K level, and then the Kong level, and then the boss level. So 5 levels in the boss level. Then we can move on to World 9, right? Guys, I feel like we actually made some... Well, okay. Maybe not a huge amount of progress. We only beat 2 levels in World 8 here. But either way, it's more progress than we made in the last stream. Wait. Willy Wonka and Oompa Loompa Oompity-Doo in Fall Guys can happen. This is the final world if I remember correctly, says Chris. Yeah, it's the last normal world, but after you've unlocked, or after you've beaten all the K levels, I think another world with extra hard levels opens up. And if I remember right, the Switch version includes content from the 3DS version that wasn't in the original, so there's still a fair amount of content left to play. And I don't know how much further we're gonna get in the next stream, but I anticipate we'll at least beat the final boss, and then start on the new content. Or on World 9, whatever it is. World K? Something like that. But yeah, for now, guys, I think that's a wrap. Let me just check one real quick thing here. There we go. Wait. No, that's Donkey Kong Country. Where did that save? La dun 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 dun. Where are my recordings going? Oh, to be sorted. Okay. Sweet. Sorry about that. Just had to double check something before I wrap up here. Guys, this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Apparently Nintendo was upset because non-Switch players could see Samus. Nintendo. Nintendo, please. Metroid could use all of the publicity that it can get. Let's be real. Anyway, guys, I've had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning into this stream. If you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I go live or post a video. Feel free to join the Discord. Lots of fun stuff in there. You can chat with me. I love chatting with the fans as always. You can also stay up to date on my live stream schedule and my uploads and stuff like that. You can pick live stream music for the intro and outro of the stream. You can even recommend games for me to play. Though I've got quite a list going right now. Not sure when I'm going to be able to get to suggestions. But, yeah. Also other fun stuff. You can share memes, videos you want me to watch or other people to watch. Plus your pictures of your food. That's fun. So, all that and more. So, if the Discord sounds like fun to you, feel free to join that. Next live stream should be next Friday, starting around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give or take half an hour or so. It's just the nature of the beast. But, yeah. Until then, I hope you guys all have a good week. And I hope to see you next time. See you guys.